Today, for the very first time, but also for the very last time, I get to hear a Metallica album that I've never heard before.
Studio album.
Don't get into the semantics, okay? This is supposed to be emotional. I want our viewers to cry during the intro, okay?
They won't.
This is the one you have all been waiting for so long. This is Hardwired to Self-Destruct. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another album reaction / review here on my channel. I am so pumped for this. I have been looking forward to this for a long time, but also, I wasn't really joking around. I do find this kind of bittersweet. This is the last Metallica album I get to listen to.
Studio album.
Before, like, my channel probably won't still be going if Metallica releases another album in 4 to 6 years, right? This is something I've been wanting to do for a long time. I've been waiting for months and months and months to do this, but since this is the last Metallica video,
Studio album.
I'm going to do it here, okay?
Here we go. Here we go.
You ripped apart your one more track, I promise. He bought a shirt, people. Probably from a bootlegger.
I'm a Metallica fan. Cheers! Come at me, bro. Okay? Which guy doesn't like Metallica now? I got the shirt.
I don't even have a Metallica shirt.
So I've been watching a channel. One of my channels has been reacting to Breaking Bad, and so I've just been saying after the end of every sentence for like 2 weeks. I'll be like, Mom, supper was really good today.
Thank you a lot.
Yeah. It was really good gravy this time.
That's what I was going to say earlier, actually. It would be funny if someone was like, because I was just thinking about how anytime anybody comments, the fat guy or the bald guy, they say something negative and be like, the fat guy really knows what he's talking about. Like, that would just be such a funny thing to say.
Like one of those backhanded compliments.
Yeah, accomplice salt.
I can't believe how little hair he has on his head, but how many brains he has. Like how much hair he has on his head, but how many brains he has inside.
His brain must have pushed all of his hair out.
Right. Yeah, that's a good one.
For the 4 of you that love this channel, thank you so much. You've really been a light in our lives. That's why we're here. Mm-hmm. I mean that sincerely. I know everything I say sounds sarcastic, and a lot of it is, but that's not.
Okay, so one of the other things I wanted to do at the beginning of the video.
You have to did you pre-rip that shirt a little bit?
No, I cut it.
Okay, because the collars are hard to rip.
Okay, yeah. I've never tried that before, but I've watched enough wrestling to know. You've
been training for that moment your whole life.
I actually went and bought that shirt today. This morning.
Just one more tractor?
Yeah, one more tractor, I promise, because I would never, in 100 billion years, own a shirt that said that. I have tried for 36 years to distance myself from being associated with the farming life, so I would never buy a shirt that says that.
That's so funny. I thought that was like hilarious. Like, yeah. I thought it was a very funny, stupid
kind of
shirt you decided to wear for the camera.
Okay, I want to get serious for just a sec. So, haven't been posting a lot of videos lately. And the main reason for that is because I allowed myself to get destroyed physically and mentally doing those stupid videos for our Rob Zombie video. And sorry.
Which are now separated out, which is a like obvious.
I feel like there was a part of it. I bailed on that premiere a little early. And I feel like there's one of them I didn't see.
Well, at the end there were bloopers, and I made an electronic version of one.
Nice.
That I put bloopers to, and I was really excited about that. That's the very last thing in the video. And I didn't upload that as a separate thing at all. That's just a special thing for anybody who stayed. The 20 people that I was talking to at the end, actually, the 17 people I was talking to at the end of the premiere, you guys were awesome. So first thing I want to say is my health has not been improving the last 4 months. We've been recording these videos for long enough now that people can go back on my channel and track when I started coughing. I don't need to talk about this forever, but just it has been super frustrating to record all these videos for you guys and have to like fight coughing and all these stupid things and keep a handkerchief with me at all times. It has been super dumb and annoying, and I really hate it. And this year for me has been really crappy because if you started watching our very first Metallica videos, you know that my arm was in a cast, in a sling when we first started. Yeah, I wasn't in the Metallica video, but I should have been wearing it at the time. I just didn't wear it in the video. But like, it's been a crappy year for me in regards to physical health and stuff. So like, trying to get better, but we'll just have to see what happens. Now, the reason I bring all that stuff up is we are recording this video. We're going to do Hardwired so much justice. We're going to talk about it so hard. And then we are not going to record another Metallica video until next year. We're not doing anything in December. We might record a video in December or something. I wanted to do a video of just the three of us talking without any music, just talking about the process of this whole thing and just kind of chilling for the whole, like just doing like a Christmas relax and chill type thing. If you guys want to do that, but if you don't, that's fine. I never mentioned it to these guys.
I don't have time for that.
But we're not going to do any Metallica until next year. My initial goal was try to get done with Metallica this whole year, but there's just way too much. So we're not. The first thing we're going to do next in January
we did pretty good to make it through the studio albums.
I think so. But the thing is, we really booked it at the beginning because I was initially planning on doing as many as we could before 72 seasons came out.
We did do as many as we could before 72 seasons came out.
But then I was going to stop doing them. So, but we just kept going, which is good. And that's, we planned that. I had changed my mind, right away when the videos started getting views and we started having fun. And then once Chris joined us, I feel like we just had to keep going, And so the first thing we're going to do is Garage. We're going to do the first disc of Garage Inc. because the more I think about it, the more I think if I include Lulu in their studio discography, I probably need to include Garage Inc. in their studio discography. Because while I do think a cover album is different than a duet album, I would definitely consider a duet album to be a part of a band's studio discography.
I see.
And so I think that I may have to start considering putting Garage Inc. into their studio, like, when we do our lists, for example, I don't think Symphony of Metallica is a studio Metallica album, like an actual album release.
Well, by definition, it's
I know,
not
by definition, it's not.
Right, that's what I was going to say.
But I think you could make an argument for Lulu and for Garage, at least the first disc, because the second disc is just a compilation.
But S&M is that was a big deal.
Right, and it's the only recorded versions of those songs.
Some of them.
So
Of a couple of them, yeah, two for sure.
No, but I mean, it's the only recorded versions of those songs with strings on them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like those versions of those songs have only been recorded once at one show ever.
Yep.
What was S&M 2?
It was a different collection of brand new songs.
They didn't repeat any of the songs?
Uh-uh.
Oh, that's actually pretty badass. Good job, Metallica. That's why I'm such a big fan, as you can tell by my shirt. So we're gonna do Garage. And Chris, in a previous video, because like I said, I just went back and watched a ton of our old Metallica videos. In a previous video, you had said, I'm not going to be here when we listen to Garage.
I've changed my mind on that.
You want to do it?
Good.
I guess.
Okay.
I love that album.
I want to let you know that I would love to have you here for any video, but I also understand.
Let the viewers at home know that I'm being forced to read things, because if I'm on that thing, I need to know more than you people do.
On what
Patrick
thing?
and Chris Parker.
What are you talking about? If you're on what thing?
If I listen to Garage,
you have to
I have to know everything. I have to know more than I do. And that's really why I don't want to do it, because I'm going to have to read. I'm going to actually have to reason, which is going to ruin the whole premise of the channel, that we do this completely unresearched.
I didn't do any research on Hardwired at all. So
we haven't done any research on any of this, period. Really.
No, that's not true. After people yelled at us for Ride and Master, I read a lot about Justice and Black Album and Load and Reload and the whole wiki articles and all that stuff. I didn't watch any of the videos because people keep telling us to watch all these documentaries and stuff, and we just can't get to that stuff. But anyway, we're going to do Garage Inc. Disc 1, probably in a separate video. Garage Inc. Disc 2, we'll see how long they are. If they're shorter than this disc, maybe we can do them all in one video. Then we're going to do Symphony of Metallica, and then I will consider us done with Metallica, other than occasionally reacting to live videos or something. However, after we're done with Symphony of Metallica, we will not be getting together at regular increments to listen to Metallica anymore. I mean, unless you guys want to, but I want us to do other things other than Metallica.
Cool.
I want us to do Slayer and Pantera and Iron Maiden, and we're going to do 5 songs from across each of those bands' entire catalogs. We're going to do lots of fun stuff.
Where'd Chris Parker go?
He left. So, but anyway, when he comes back up, there'll be a little green thing here. Let me know when you see that. So that's going to be the plan. Then, when we're done with Symphony and Metallica, which will probably be, February or whenever, we're going to take probably a few months, and we're going to keep Metallica on the channel. We may, if Chris wants to be here for stuff, it's kind of tough because like Chris Parker and I can just jump on and record at any time, because he can just, whenever he has time, I have time, just jump on and record. You have to drive an hour to get here, which really sucks, and you're leaving your family and all this stuff, then you have to drive an hour back. So like, if you want to be here for stuff, that's fine. But if we watch a few like live videos or whatever, I want to watch some like clips of Moscow or whatever. Maybe we could watch some clips of some kind of monster or something. People want us to do some of that stuff. We'll include things like that on the channel every now and then, but it will be building up to a big series of videos where we'll do probably like 5-6 videos where we go through and we just do shorter Metallica videos where we talk about like, we'll rank the cover art. Like it doesn't have to be an hour-long video. We'll just rank the cover arts for each of their albums. You'll find some way to make it that. But. We'll rank,
Hardwired will be at the bottom of my list.
I know you said category. You didn't like that one.
It's not cool.
It's Master so close to being cool, though.
Might have the coolest album artwork of all time.
I do agree those are really great.
This is just like, I'm sorry to the person who did it, but it does kind of just look like 20 minutes of Photoshop.
I did do some research onto that. Well, we'll talk about that when we get to it.
Hold
on, he's back. We didn't notice.
Is it like some complicated arty thing that like...
Hold on, sorry, Chris.
Have you not been able to hear me?
No, we not until just now. Sorry.
Oh, dang. Okay.
No,
Do you like the Hardwired album art?
No, I think that it's very close to being cool, but it just didn't quite get there.
Hold on. Okay, real quick while we're talking about this. At Lars's wedding, the photographer that he hired to take photos of him at his wedding took a photo of him and his wife, and they transposed them onto each other and gave it to him. And Lars was like, "This is really cool. Hey, James, look at this. We should get these guys to do an album cover for us sometime." And then 4 years later, or however long, when they got ready to do this album, they were like, "Let's do that." So they hired these people to do this, and they did it. And I agree. It looks kind of cheap. However, I think the concept of it is cool. I do think the execution is okay, but you're right. Like, I could take photos of us and basically do this exact same thing.
Don't ever let the idea that something is simple mean that it's good
I just
or bad.
think
that's true. That's a good point.
I don't like pictures of the band members on album covers.
That's fair.
In metal.
To me, this would be way cooler if it didn't have the projections on them. Right?
That would be my other beef.
It's got these colors and things projected on them, and I don't personally like that. I think it'd be cooler if they were just morphed. However, I saw online that there's some very famous metal band who had an album cover from the 80s where it took like the 4 dudes in the band's faces and melded them all together. Mm-hmm. And you would definitely know the band 1,000%. I can't remember what it was. Look up Hardwired album cover compared to and see what it brings up. But
that's quite the Google term.
I think that the reason they had to do these colors and everything is because it would have been too close to maybe what that album was.
No way.
Especially because it was such a huge metal band. Like
Metallica can do whatever they want. I guarantee those colors were a choice.
You're probably true. That's probably right.
The Crowbar record.
Yes, Crowbar. Yeah. I'll put a picture of it up here.
Band? Crowbar?
Crowbar is the name of the band.
No, I would say that Crowbars is better.
Let me look at it real quick.
Partially because it's here, let me just do this.
Again, I'll put the picture up here. Unless I don't want to.
Number one, because it's in black and white. I was actually going to say that. I wasn't even thinking about this album. Of course, I know that album artwork. I'm not a huge Crowbar guy, but
take a look.
Yeah.
I think it's cooler. It looks more like stone faces or something, right? From a distance, you might be like, "Oh, that's some gargoyle," and that you're like, I mean, it does make you look twice, which is good marketing. I won't. Some of the stuff on the inside, cool. I think, is cool.
Yeah, there's a lot.
That's cool. That picture is cool. Show it on the camera. That one's cool. That would have made a better album artwork. That would have been like very late 90s. That would have been like Around the Fur.
There's some really good ones in here. Like that one's cool.
It's kind of cool. It's kind of derpy.
It's a little bit derpy.
That's cool. That's like Rumpelstiltskin. Remember that art? It kind of
and it's just this style that they've chosen is like, it's so easy to make it cool and so easy to make it not cool.
Right.
And
it's like getting flames tattooed on your body. Like you can do it in a way that's really cool, but also it can be.
Flames are tough to draw.
For sure. But I just think that's cool.
That one is cool.
Like I personally think that some tattoos that incorporate flames are really, really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so one more thing I want to do with the intro here. I want to show a couple cool things I got recently. New Econoline Crush album that came out. There was only 3 left when I ordered this. I'm going to be doing a reaction to this on the channel coming up soon. If you don't know who they are, watch that video. I got this in the mail shortly after we recorded our video because I found it for cheap enough. This is the second solo Rob Zombie album and my favorite.
The album we should have done.
My favorite in his catalog, 100%.
So good.
Very awesome.
It really is too bad that we went through a period in time where music came in such a way that it could be a part of a whole art thing, because it's we don't need to do albums anymore, but the art aspect of them is just so awesome that it's like, they won't die.
I agree.
We're gonna have to talk about that in a video too. And I have thoughts about albums.
How album artwork has been relegated to thumbnail now on Spotify.
Although on Tidal at least, you can look at it full screen and in HD. I thought you could. And also, to the Kaiser's Orchestra people, you don't know how much you made Patrick's Day.
Oh, yeah. I'm surprised he survived.
What did I say about that song? I won't watch the video again. But
you thought it was okay. You thought it was okay. The thing about that
album artwork is cool. I kind of like this kind of thing.
Oh, it's
very metal.
The whole trilogy of albums. This is volume 2. Volume 1 is yellow with black artwork and red.
This is not the new one.
This is volume 2. No, there is no new album. They haven't done it yet. Okay. It's coming up next year probably.
But the song we listened to is new. That was a single that came out.
Just the only single they released this year. Yeah. But anyway, the guy that does this artwork, he did their whole trilogy of albums, and the last one is, and it doesn't matter. I actually did a whole video on my channel about the artwork for that, so you can watch that if you want to. So one last thing I want to do before we get, and that is this candle right here, which you may remember from our original Ride the Lightning video, where we lit this candle and we had it sitting here the whole time, and I said that we were going to try to light it and run it out. But it never ran out the whole time. So, on the last Metallica album...
Studio album.
Shut up. We are going to light this again.
And it will run out in 5 minutes.
Proper non-cover studio album. I guess I wasn't thinking about Garage Inc. when I said that. Boy, this will be dramatic. There's not much left in there. Wow, there is a wick. Surprising. Okay.
If I leave that there, is that okay, or should I put it back here?
I don't care. Let's do it, though.
First things first. I'll be back with you in 1 minute. Okay, we had to get back real quick before the candle. I don't want the candle to go out while we were getting our drinks. That would be a little anticlimactic after what we just did. So
I can't wait to see how climactic it is when it does go out and we don't notice for 10 minutes.
We don't have to notice. I'll zoom in on it in the video and play like a sad song or something. So for this video, I decided to go a little Crash Bandicoot. Chris,
nice.
This is G Fuel, which I assume stands for Game Fuel.
Gamers with a capital G.
Yep. And this is Crash Bandicoot version Wumpa Fruit flavored.
Oh, sure, the Wumpa fruit.
Yep, which is what you collect in the game.
A real fruit with a real flavor and the color of clear, just like in nature.
Your glass
I was going to say it is clear. Am I supposed to do that?
Yeah, that's how you keep it from
just gets rid of the foam at the top.
Here, do you want to try this one?
No.
Okay, I'm going to try it. I decided to put in a glass this time for you folks, so you can see how much of my beverage I have left, because I know it's something people do like to keep track of.
Wild.
And I wanted to see what color it was. Look at the ball. Right, Chris?
Yep.
I just got an extra life.
Don't know why you. I never hardly played Crash Bandicoot. I remember it from a demo disc, but it wasn't really my game.
That was a funny joke, and people will be laughing. I'm going to do that every time I take a drink.
Please don't.
Please don't.
Actually, do whatever you want. I don't give a shit.
Oh, okay. Here's another thing. Starting right now, we're going to try not to swear anymore.
All right.
Okay?
I didn't agree to that.
Let's just try it. This is going to be practice for if we decide to try to ever do a live stream. Okay?
Here's a funny thing about this, actually. It's been a long time since I've made any attempt whatsoever to not swear anywhere I'm at. I stopped. I don't care. Mm-hmm. I had a bit of a spontaneous trip down to a Catholic church the other night.
Oh.
To hear
Chilling with my homies.
a bunch of choral singers doing whatever. Mm-hmm. It was very cool. Really cool old giant cathedral, probably 100 years old. I don't know.
Lots of reverb in there, I'll bet.
Tons, yeah.
Great natural
Filled the
reverb.
whole place. Mm-hmm. Very cool.
Great
And
is a subjective term.
Well, lots of natural reverb.
Yes, and I thought maybe just for grins, I'll see if I can not swear while I'm here. And it took about 10 seconds before I forgot that I said that. I was like 3 f***s in, and I was like, oh, dang, that's right.
Okay, starting right now, let's just practice, okay?
I don't want to.
We'll use this as practice. Come on, for me.
All right.
Okay.
Who to go about?
Let's do it.
Track 1. You ready, Chris?
Oh, here we go. All right. Diving in.
Oh,
Metallica's not
holy
gonna not
crap. 3 minutes and 9 seconds long. This song better be fire. This song better be the blastinest, fastinest, most rootinest, tootinest.
Act like you like the long Metallica songs. They just play another song after those first song's over.
Did what I just say there sound like I was disappointed?
No, but
Because I was trying to convey joy. Look, we have a 3-minute long Metallica song. Okay, if it's a 3-minute long Metallica song, it's probably a fast one. If it's only going to be 3 minutes long, it better be the fastest song they've ever done.
I'm a little surprised it's only 3 minutes.
I am too.
I don't recall it being specifically short.
And I will say, I did look through the book a little bit earlier, and so yeah, I did
almost
see.
made it to songs.
Oh, look at some of those.
Those are
Almost
cool.
made it to music.
How awkward would it be to stand there shirtless like that to get photos taken? I guess if you're in a band, you're just naked around each other the time. So
You can do that, but I can't say it's ridiculous.
well, I was going to edit mine out. So, all right.
Start the song.
Yep, we almost made it to music.
In 3, 2, 1.
Sounds great.
Yep. So far,
James is way louder.
I would love it if it was Lou Reed. They did one track with him for this album, just the intro.
He's been dead for some time.
Lots of sub frequencies in that kick.
Kick sounds great.
Yeah. Snare's a little small. Ooh, and it got bigger there.
In the name of desperation, in the name of wretched pain, in the name of all creation, count insane, we're so locked, without a lock, hardwired to self-destruct. Go!
The kick drum is I'm not vibing with it.
Oh, huh.
I feel like it's a little too massive almost for everything else that's happening. And this kind of a beat should accent the snare, not the kick.
Without a lock, hardwired to self-destruct.
Guitars sound good though, his vocals sound good. I think once I get used to the drums sound a little bit more, I'll be okay with it. Can you hear us, Chris, while we're listening?
Yeah, I got the volume I can change now.
Okay,
So
I'm
we're
just
good.
making sure.
riff rips.
This tastes just like a specific pop, and I'm trying to think about what it is. Okay, solo. I really like how the guitars sound, the rhythm guitars. Mm-hmm. They're like low pass, but not too much. And it's not like Death Magnetic at all. It does not sound like Death Magnetic's mix.
Once upon a planet burning, once upon a flame, once upon a fear returning all in vain. Do you feel that hope is fading? Do you comprehend? Do you feel it terminating in the end?
I'll bet people put this in for the first time and were like, crap in their pants.
Yeah,
That's what
they're like,
she
they're
said.
back! They're back!
We're so locked,
And then it was 3 minutes.
out of luck.
Yeah, and the rest of the album is just ballads.
Self-destruct. Hardwired to self-destruct.
Metallica does not generally swear very much in their music.
Self-destruct.
Not that
Very true.
big in a chorus.
Yeah, so I sense some hostility. Awesome. Exactly what I expected it to be when I saw 3 minutes.
Yeah.
So that to me, that harkens back to their older albums, like Ride and Master. I can't remember about Justice, but like they have the fastest. I'm assuming that's the fastest, thrashiest song on the album. Starts the album. Starts the album. Oh, I like that reaction from you guys. Let's
Blow
go.
that prediction away later.
I like that, but that. So what I was saying though was that I was assuming that, and that's how they generally start their album. Usually, or their earlier albums. I feel like they did it with Kill 'Em All, Ride, and Master, where the fastest thrashiest song started it, and then there was always one that was either the last song or the penultimate song, depending on where the dumb instrumental was. So
Make sure you add that it's dumb. Because if you didn't say that, people would think maybe you changed your mind and didn't think it was dumb, and then your whole reputation would be
And
blown
YouTube
away.
is really about consistency.
Trust
so
me,
every time.
trust me, I don't want people to think that I changed my mind about how dumb their instrumental songs are.
No one thinks that.
Not even the Lou Reed Metallica album, where I heard a bunch of instrumental Metallica songs with some guy talking over them, could change my opinion about that.
You should not. The Lou Reed Metallica album is not changing anybody's opinion about instrumentals. Not for the better, at least.
I really like the way that this tastes.
Good.
Boogadabah.
This
I'm glued to. I'm totally in on that stupid sound now.
I just feel like I have to mention.
I'll have a guy floating behind me the whole time, Chris, until I get knocked down or something, or somehow I
Or
lose,
tell a song you don't like happens.
lose a
and then-
life.
I don't know that I've ever played Crash Bandicoot.
PlayStation mascot back in the PS1 days.
It's very modern metal mastery.
The mastering, you
The
mean?
mastering.
Okay.
It is very compressed.
But
it's-
not.
I mean, it's not Death Magnetic, but nothing's Death Magnetic.
Right.
Nothing could be.
I think
It
in
wouldn't
listening to
survive.
this, just my first impression of that was I like the way this was mixed better than 72 Seasons.
Well, 72
I can see
Seasons,
that.
the first minute of the album is a hi-hat solo.
Well, I'm just saying overall. But 72 Seasons, there's way less distortion on the guitars. And I wanted to have a section at the beginning of this video where we talked about my predictions for this album, just because people have said so many things about it over the course of this video series. But one of the things I was expecting on this album was to have the guitar, the distortion turned way down. I was expecting this to be way less distortion. And I'm very surprised that that's not the case. It is Metallica, metal distortion, metal guitar. And I'm pretty happy with that. But I definitely like the way it sounds more than the good version of Death Magnetic. So,
I don't
so
know
far,
that I share
so
that
far.
opinion.
We'll see. Who
On the
knows?
way here,
Yeah.
there's a modern, newer metal band that I will not mention, even when you guys pressure me to. And they had a record come out recently. I'm
Avenged
never
Sevenfold.
listened to this band. No, a metal band.
Wait, we can guess this.
No, I won't admit to it, even if you get it right.
A metal band, you say?
Kind of.
When we know
I
it's
think
not
so.
Korn,
I mean,
then.
I knew it. Whatever. Anyway, and I'm like, I'm gonna give, because Tidal suggested that I listen to it, and
Okay.
so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give this a try. I've never listened to this band before. I know that they're trendy or whatever. So I'm going to try it. And I started it and I'm like, oh, the music's not so bad. And then about 10 seconds in, I'm like, even in my car, this is just too squashed. I will make it through this for sure because I like this, but it's pretty.
To me, I will say I don't think that was too compressed to have trouble listening to it. But you are right. At the beginning, when you're like that is what sounds.
Oh yeah, when I go like that, that means you can hear the limiters kicking in.
Is compressed. Everything is getting smushed a little bit, and then when they do their the stabs, that's the biggest part for whatever reason. Those are the least compressed parts of all Metallica albums. I don't know why it works that way. You can literally look at the waveforms and see the stabs bigger than the compressed stuff.
Can you?
So
with the rhythm guitars being like so close and in your face and like no real discernible like reverb or delay to make them more massive or wide or anything, because this doesn't feel very wide to me right now. I don't think I'm not super I'm not whatever. My stereo field recognition is not. That's not.
No, this is the same conversation we had with Rob Zombie. I just was the whole time you guys were like, this just feels so narrow, and I'm like, what are you guys talking about? And that maybe it's the difference in headphones. I don't know what it is.
Doesn't make sense.
To me, this sounds massively wide.
Okay,
I agree with that.
Let's listen to another one.
But what was interesting to me is that the guitars, there is no question about this. There is no room or time on the rhythm guitars. They are right there on the speakers, right? Like they're right there in your ear holes. And then the solo sounds like a real room to me. I mean, maybe it's not, but there was a mic 4 feet back from the cab. And then there was room in it, and I just thought that was an interesting thing to do. I probably wouldn't have made that choice.
I actually intentionally talked over the entire solo.
No, you didn't.
I did. After it started, I listened to a couple measures, and then I started talking, and I talked the whole time.
I did have a suspicion that you were talking for the sake of talking based on what you were saying. But
if you go back and listen to what I was saying, it wasn't important at all, but I was just like...
It was more
I've been
about...
feeling very nostalgic, okay, guys?
I thought it was more about... just what we talked about earlier about trying to say a few more things to get better at keeping the talking going for the algorithm perspective, not because you are. I do think that'd be the other reason, but yeah, I did sort of have a thought of like, is he talking just to talk? Like,
okay, let's go to the next song, which who knows what this is going to be now, but I'm really happy with that being it would have been cool if it started with acoustic guitar. Just gotta
would have been cool.
Gotta throw that out there. We always say that at the beginning of every album that's not Ride and Master or Injustice. Maybe I don't remember if Justice did it, but would have been neat. But that's okay. I'm curious. I wonder if we'll get any acoustic guitar on this album. Don't tell me. I don't want to know. Not looking at Chris. Not looking at any Chris. It would be great if we got some
Justice
piano, some
the
strings.
Guitar.
Oh yeah, it does.
But let's listen to track 2. This is Atlas Rise. This is 6.5, so this is a good old Metallica length song. In 3, 2, 1. Ooh, snare drum was a lot more present right there, that one hit.
That one too.
Yes.
Snare drum sounds.
They've got the cymbals mic'd, so it's left, left, right, left, right, left, left, right.
I think the cymbals sound great.
Yeah. No, I wasn't complaining. It's just the way that they've got the kit mic'd is probably much more like largest perspective, left and right.
That's how it always is.
No,
wait, no.
No, it's
the hi-hat's
on the right.
On the Metallica side.
So it's from the producing perspective.
Which is the
Oh yeah, sure.
Vocals could be a little louder. They're definitely high passing the snare or low passing the snare during the verse. Kick is too loud.
classic Metallica anti-chorus. I love it. I really like that.
Yes, that was very... Yes. Hey, I was going to say, if you want to do something, Chris, you can look at some of those comments on our post from yesterday, because there was like 4 or 5 people that commented on like 2 or 3 songs that they thought I would like the most. I don't know if you want to look through more comments or not, but to just make a list of the ones that people think I would like the most. I know this one wasn't one of them.
I like this song a lot. I liked it since the first time I heard it.
Yeah.
I don't think we got any good sounding snare hits in the last song, and now like a lot of the ones in this one sound good, right? Or am I just used to it?
I think there's just a little bit more high frequency, high snappiness to it.
But I like this songwriting thing that they do, because this is a Metallica thing. Don't ask me what songs.
There was
not there, but it builds to the riff, which is actually the song. You know, like that's actually the hook.
That's a much more old school Metallica thing, right?
Love that space there. That's very Metallica to leave that space. Stop.
Master of Puppets is that, right? Master of Puppets is like the anti-chorus of all anti-choruses, right?
Kind of. I don't know. It's so iconic that it is just catchy whether it is or not. You know what I mean?
Room.
Yeah, but not bad.
No, I like it.
I like the tone a lot.
Mm-hmm. This tone is pure Metallica, like post-black. Like this is a low tone.
It's got a wah on it, right? But not moving.
Moving.
Now we get some Godsmack. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I'm digging this. I think the kick is like way too loud, but if you're gonna have one element of the song be loud and it's a decent sounding kick, it does help the whole thing sound way more massive.
Yeah, it does.
Did you see what songs a couple people mentioned? Okay.
Love this part.
Was Hardwired? Did anyone mention Hardwired? Because I really did like that one. Minus the swear words, I guess. See, now that's interesting because they're doing harmonies, but they're so far apart it doesn't sound like they're together. You know what I mean? Because of the way they were panned.
Yeah, I would.
I mean, that's it.
The end of that, it kind of sounded, because the harmonies got closer. But,
yeah. You're right, the snare sounds great here.
And the kick is basically the same as in Hardwired.
Half tempo drum beat.
Gotta give Lars a chance to stand up.
Yeah. Does he really stand up and play sometimes?
Mm-hmm.
He stands up half the shows.
He's a little dude, so he can get away with it.
I will not allow James to be taller than me.
He can't do anything about that.
Is he on a drum riser?
No, I don't think so. Not usually.
During like Justice, he was.
I mean, in most. See, there, that kick is so massively. It's too much.
Oh, I like it.
I agree, it sounds good.
It's metal.
Yeah. If it didn't sound good, that would ruin the mix for me, but because it sounds good. That song did not feel like 6.5 minutes.
Oh, the song rips.
Yeah.
I think it might be. I think the low end of it might be a little bit low for my taste, but I mean, obviously
the kick,
it works.
you mean?
Yeah.
There's subs. There's,
like it's super subby.
There's sub frequencies in there for sure, but we have not had that in any Metallica. Maybe on Black Album, but I don't think on any other Metallica album have we had like a lot of like a build up at all of subsonic frequencies in the kick at all.
I'm so bad at remembering.
I don't think at all. Not on Load and Reload for sure, and those are the two best produced albums. Maybe on Saint Anger for a couple measures here and there. But
yeah, on 12 different kick hits.
Hey, we could tell people. By the way, one cool way to get sub sonic frequencies out of a kick drum is to use a sub microphone. Do you want to kind of explain how that works? Just because we don't talk about audio stuff very much.
We've been super leaning into the audio thing for these last two songs. But yeah, so anyway, for those of you who don't know, a dynamic microphone, which are not what these microphones are. These are condenser microphones. Chris Parker is using a dynamic microphone.
I am indeed.
Dynamic microphones work on the dynamic principle, which is basically just a loudspeaker in reverse. And so you can turn a loudspeaker.
While you explain this, I'm going to go get my water so it doesn't freeze into a block of ice. Okay, I forgot about it. Keep going.
You can use a speaker as a microphone. And in fact, for a long time, I don't believe that it's still in production, but there was a microphone called the Yamaha Subkick, and Yamaha packaged it into a nice looking drum enclosure. And that's all it is. It was the driver from a NS10, right? The whatever white cone one that they had at the time. But yeah, so I mean, you can there's lots of videos on the internet showing you just to wire an XLR jack to the output terminals of a speaker and making a microphone out of it.
That's very cool.
Which you can do, although I really hope that you put a transformer on it.
My old roommate did that. He made his own out of like a small drum.
Yeah.
And, right, which is what you were just explaining, I assume. But like he basically just used a small drum.
The drum is just for looks, though. 100%. I'm sure it has some impact on the sound, but
100%. And then it just basically the microphone looked like a little drum, and you just put it up against the head, but not touching the head of the kick drum. And then when you listen back to it, it's literally just thud, thud, thud. There's no snappiness to it. It's just low frequencies.
Well, the diaphragm can't do it. The diaphragm can't move that fast because it's so heavy because it's a speaker code.
Right.
It's
basically just going to be able to record the stuff that it would best be suited for outputting.
Mm-hmm. Or what you could really do is just go sample replace it and put a sub kit in.
Well, that would definitely be more. That would definitely be more. Yes. That's probably
I'm interested
what you should do.
in the anti-chorus thing that you brought up. It's not a term I'm familiar with.
We talked about that a lot on Ride and Master, so maybe you missed that, Chris. But what I took when we would talk about that, the meaning that I got from that is that Metallica's anti-choruses are like, it's the obvious chorus part of the song, but it is not something you sing along with. It's not catchy.
Interesting.
It's not like rhythmically engaging or anything like that. It's just almost like a more complex verse. But it's obviously the chorus because they're like shouting the name of the song or whatever generally.
Okay.
Huh. And I was going to say Master of Puppets is like that because, and even this, I mean, I would kind of say that this chorus is pretty similar to the Master of Puppets chorus where there's, because Master of Puppets, I'm probably saying that riff pretty wrong, but you guys know the chorus riff, Master of Puppets.
Yeah, you know how it goes.
But like on that song, on Atlas Rise, it's kind of like the chorus serves as the pre-chorus to the riff.
Mm-hmm. Right. So
I think that that's how Master of Puppets is sort of arranged too, because like there are riffs in Master of Puppets, especially the intro riff, that's like so much more catchy, that's so much more bombastic, right? Like that chorus in Atlas Rise, like it doesn't, like the song doesn't like boom, you know, like you were all little tiny for the verse and then boom.
Like honestly, I can't even remember what it was.
Yeah, which
is
is super Metallica.
I would remember the words more so than the guitar riff, but
well, he sings along with it, which is something I also enjoy done sparingly. I really like it.
Right. Anything else, Chris Parker? Otherwise, we'll move on.
Let's move right in.
The only thing I want to say is I am enjoying this a lot right now. I think we may have a good sounding Metallica album. I keep mentioning the kick drum only because that's the only thing that's bothering me a little bit. Did you pay attention to the stereo image there?
No.
Okay, let's do it with this song. Let's do it this song then. Stereo image. This is, you looked up the songs people thought I would like. Do you remember which ones they were?
That was mentioned. Atlas Rise was mentioned.
Well, that was wrong.
You didn't like it?
I liked Hardwired way better than that one.
Yeah.
I think number 6 will be your favorite song.
People have mentioned Spit Out the Bone since the beginning of us starting the channel.
That is the song from this record.
So people have mentioned
Which
that
one? Spit Out the Bone?
Yeah, which the fact that that's the last one really
that's true.
makes me so curious about what the heck that is. I think one of the other ones
That
people
song
mentioned
Rules is what that is.
was possibly ManUnkind. Halo on
That's a
Fire.
good one.
Halo on Fire is one people
my number
mentioned.
one.
And I want to say maybe Moth into Flame. I don't know.
Moth into Flame would have been the other choice I made, yeah.
It rips.
Okay. Maybe Murder One. I don't know. Okay. So, but we are on to Now That We're Dead. Hold on. I just want to say, I hope we get like a slow song on this album somewhere. Like The Unforgiven 3 or whatever. Not like that, but I want a song that starts with a clean electric guitar and that's slower. Just pointing that out. Like I want to get that eventually. Because we didn't get that at all on 72 Seasons. They did not do anything like that really. So I'm curious if they're going to do that here. All right. This is Now They Were Dead.
Nope, Now That We're Dead.
Now That We Are Dead, sorry. This is 6:59, so 7 minutes long. In 3, 2, 1. Yeah, love this already.
Yep.
I like those toms. Keep that. Okay. Far away sounding toms, right? Not these massive low frequency things.
Yeah.
Nah, there's a lot of reverb or delay.
There's reverb, but they're not like body. You don't hear the body of the tom at all. But that's what this part calls for.
The guitars are panned pretty wide.
About as wide as they get without hitting the back of the head.
Probably as wide as they get, and the snare reverb is wide too. But
well, this song so far is in a higher key than the two previous ones, for sure. Or at least the riffs so far have been. All right, this is a little load reload.
This is just so Metallica sounding.
I cannot get over what this tastes like. I can't put my finger on it. They're doing the 72 Seasons thing where they riff for a minute and a half before the song
72
starts.
Seasons came out after this record.
It sounds just like In Flames.
A little bit of that grumbly farty bass in there.
Yeah.
I like that.
The bass has to be a bit more present because the guitars have less lows in them because they're just playing higher. Riff.
Yeah.
There's a slap echo on his vocals. Harmony vocals. Man, that kick sometimes really annoys me.
I like it.
I gotta like push it down in my brain to like reach in and grab the vocals. I really like the chorus riff there. I really like that. This is a rock and roll riff.
That bass should be way louder. That should be in every Metallica song ever.
It should be the volume of the kick.
Now.
The vocals should be the volume of the kick.
little bit of that bad distortion right there on that kick hit to take us into this part.
I was just going to say, how can we be over halfway through the song? We just got through the second chorus, but then I remember the song didn't start until 1:37.
There were some like little natural harmonic stuff at the beginning too. That was cool.
Ooh.
That kick hit.
Yeah.
Cool solo, Kirk.
I liked it. I liked what they did pre-solo. Bringing back the intro, toms. Listen to that delay on it.
Yeah, and it's like kind of in a weird spot. How it's like
I'm okay with
just
it.
off center. I like that too. I could probably go wide as soon as the riff comes in. Kirk is still wide. This is a cool guitar part. Like,
yes.
This is cool music.
And notice how the kick drum's not smashing anything right now, so everything feels balanced.
Yeah. There's all that beef is missing from the kick. In a good way.
Yep.
Oh, and James gets some notes. That kick is too loud, but I love it. It's awesome.
Hell yeah.
They're very confident in it.
Good for Lars.
Good for the guy who put all of them in place.
Here's my I have a comment I need to read. Let's just do this first. Who cares what we think?
That's
Okay.
right.
Edge of Carnage 8270 writes, I think his favorite will be Bleep. In my opinion, which is in all caps. Oh, this isn't the right song. Sorry. Sorry, wrong song.
Okay, well,
I can't read, evidently. I'll get to that. I'll reread that comment
okay,
when we
keep
get
it
there.
up. Keep it up.
But when that thing happened where like it was basically a rhythm guitar solo is what I'm going to say, because it was James.
Right.
When it was when it was like here, when it was at like 10 to the left.
Yep.
Yeah, 10 o'clock.
When that got over, am I tripping, as the youth would say? Or did that guitar stay there and then very slowly over the course of like 16 measures pan itself back to wide?
Didn't notice.
Interesting.
Because for a while it was really lopsided where Kirk stayed where he was the whole time, and that solo thing happened here, and then it kind of felt like it went back, and by the end of a section, I forget what section it was now because I was thinking about the piano.
Well, remember they did the whole section there where they went back to having the tom drums there, where the kick was much more manageable. So after that, I'm assuming is by the point where that was done, I'm assuming is where it went back to normal. But the fact that I didn't notice that at all means that whatever they did well, I think.
I was listening for it because I'm like, okay, that's gonna snap back. That's just gonna happen on a measure break. And
Snap back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. Nope, he's so sad, but he won't get up. Whatever.
Dude, I was listening to Dr.
Mom's
Dre's
spaghetti
2001 over the years on the way here, so I've heard plenty of Eminem already today. I like Eminem.
I'll have to listen for that. That's a really interesting thought because I wonder about that sometimes. If something's like out here, is it like when it's going to go back over here? How does it happen? And I love that it just sort of.
It's an interesting thing to
because it was a weird spot to have basically have lead guitar, right? Because it wasn't centered.
Right.
It's still on James' side because you have to. It's Metallica, which is one thing of all the Metallica stuff that we've said, positive and negative about the production of their records. I do love that. You know, when you are listening to Metallica and you hear a guitar on the left, that it is James Hetfield.
Yeah.
And when you hear a guitar on the right, it is Kirk Hammett.
Yeah.
And like,
except for Load and Reload, where he
because-
played all the rhythm guitars.
Okay.
Where Lars played all the rhythm
Sorry,
guitars.
that's where my Metallica.
That's all right. I just want to point it out.
Lars played the rhythm guitar.
I know you don't care about those albums.
Lars
very much.
played all the rhythm guitars on every
We're
record.
here first.
Sorry, I get Lars and James mixed up. Lars's name is just so much cooler. Okay. But okay, I will say that was definitely my favorite album of the songs. That was definitely my favorite song on the album so far. I really liked that one. That one had like a rock and roll feel to it to me. I liked the riff. I specifically noticed a little bit of variance between the guitar riff in the first verse versus the second verse, or second chorus, sorry. I think during the first chorus, they did kind of almost a different riff than the second chorus, which was a lot more complex of a riff. And then when it came in at the end, you know, Lars was doing more on the cymbals to make it feel climactic. I loved the pre-solo section when they were doing these cool rhythmic things and they were stopping and starting and doing these like different notes. That to me felt very...
Was that after the solo?
No, it was before the solo. They did that afterwards too. After the solos when they did the thing you were talking about.
Okay.
Where
James plays like lead rhythm guitar for
Yes.
a moment. Yes.
But before the solo, they did this really cool, like, I don't know, 16 bar, maybe it was only 8 bar, really cool rhythmic thing. And that reminded me of Saint Anger and a little bit of Load and Reload a little bit, because on Saint Anger, they didn't do any solos. So they did like rhythmic things like that. And then they would just go back to another part. And so that I thought was a really cool, really neat part. And then having it be done the way that it was, with lots of space in between what was happening, and then having the Kirk just like bend the note to go into the guitar solo, and the riff starts up and he starts doing the solo. Like that to me is just like, you know, we've done, Chris would get so mad at me when I would have him do guitar solos on my songs, because I always wanted the most like generic, like sounding thing imaginable for my guitar solos on my songs. And every single guitar solo I ever had in place started with like a bend
And you know how much that's poisoned me? Because you know how every one of the guitar solos I write now starts? I have to like consciously think of different ways to start solos, because
or some kind of a run beforehand.
and it, not only did it poison me,
I love it.
it poisoned my little brother, because I remember one Primal Waters band practice.
Shout out to Brother Dan.
Yes.
Come on, shout out to Brother Dan in the premiere, in the comments.
He will appreciate that. Sometimes he watches these. We were practicing a part that was going to have solos over it, and we were just jamming. We did not discuss who would play the solo. We get to the part, there's a little like drum fill or something, and then it goes to the part that solos. Both of us go grab the exact same note and bend it the exact same way, and like we just had to stop and like laugh. We're like, God, we're just
that's incredible.
We're just so worthless.
That's a Patrick note.
that is a Patrick thing.
I really wish we could have had people. I wish we could have filmed everything that we did in the studio and just like have it.
You know what it was?
Archived.
You want to know what the studio really is? It's hours of one person sitting next to another person on a computer and watching them edit. I've watched Patrick edit audio for maybe longer than I've done anything else in my life outside of breathing.
And I have edited audio for countless hours. All right, that was my favorite song so far.
I liked it.
My
hot Patrick-like take.
Okay.
This is my hot Patrick-like take.
Okay.
In any band, I would say that I would rather take cool parts, cool guitar parts, like that rhythmic thing that they did, or like even little simple harmonized guitar lines over guitar solos. If I had to choose between
100%.
one and the other, I would choose instrumental parts over guitar solos.
Absolutely agree completely.
Every time. I like some solos. There are some guitar solos that I feel really strongly about. Actually, there's not. There's ones I feel somewhat strongly about. But there are parts like that where I'm just like, oh my God, this is the coolest thing ever.
So much cooler.
See, to me, that's interesting. I really do like cool guitar parts, but I don't think that I like them better than guitar solos. They're pretty even for me. For me, I love guitar solos when it's a really good solo over a slow part. Like ballad guitar solos are like my favorite thing in the world. And that is,
I'm not going to disagree.
That is one of the reasons I love Load and Reload so much. When I'm because I've been listening to Load and Reload a little bit more on my speakers as I've been when I come down here to set this up, for example, I put on Load and Reload, and I just, every time every one of the songs on those albums starts, it's a freaking kick-ass riff. The guitars sound great, and then when it gets to the solo, the guitars they don't do riffs that are like right. The guitar riffs on Load and Reload are dun 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 dun. Right, it's just like these. There's a lot of space in the riffs, right? And Lars is just going, and it feels so much slower than anything we've heard here so far. And when you just have like over that, like a bluesy solo, I love it so much. So to me, that is one of the reasons I like Load and Reload so much. I love the slower riffs. I love the bluesier feeling riffs. I like Kirk's bluesy solos. All right, Moth into Flames in 3, 2, 1. Very interesting way to start.
Kind of like Ride the Lightning.
Yes, that was my first thought. Now they're letting the rhythm guitars ring out over this, which is nice. Okay, this is similar to another riff from one of their other songs. I don't know which one. Maybe several songs, but...
I love this riff. I love this song.
Shut down. Hypnotic. Which song is that? This is reminding me of something from 72 Seasons. Something at the Wrath of Man. Shut down. Hypnotic. Right? Is that just 72 Seasons, the song?
Might be.
I like that. That's a cool riff. Da-da-da-da. Key change type sounding thing there, or hitching it up.
Love this.
Oh. He's gotta do that every song, huh?
I like it.
You better believe it, man. It's not Metallica without it.
This is the hook. The riff is the hook, right?
That was such a good chorus. That was a cool combination of both, right? It had the catchy part you sing with, and then it had the sort of, like
then
you
the
said,
end just
leading into the rhythm,
Yeah.
to the guitar.
Yeah.
This is a proper thrash metal riff.
Yes. And the drums really help. Cheers. Oh, I got a big chunk up. Got a big chunk of ice. Ooh.
Love that. Burn.
I have to say, If I get a bloody nose during this video, we may have to stop. My bloody noses have been really bad the last few days. And if I'm rocking out and all of a sudden, we'll just see what happens. I don't want to get any blood on my new shirt.
Little Rob Zombie guitar tone there.
Yeah.
I think we say Godsmack
Or
on this channel.
Godsmack.
Quiet, Rob Zombie. Some interesting bass work under that.
Interesting choices of notes for him there, for Kirk. I feel like the kick is a little more subdued in this song.
I was going to say that.
Yeah. Which is good.
There are some really loud hits, or there were. That drum fill was as wide as it can get.
Yep, with the toms. A lot of lead guitar parts in this song.
Interesting to have this lead guitar pseudo solo before the chorus same every time.
This is epic vocals. That's so un-Metallica. And then this is so Metallica. I kind of hate that rhythm.
I know you do. I was going to say it's too many syllables. Like,
they should have gone a moth into the flame. That's what I would have had you do.
I know.
They got me. They got me. I thought it was over. Dude, that was an awesome little last 10 seconds there.
That is cool that they did that.
Okay, so that was really cool because that was like a somewhat regular, fast Metallica song mixed with parts that were like thrash Metallica song, which was interesting. I don't know if we've gotten very many songs like that. For the most part...
I was just going to say, this is that third era of Metallica where you start to really hear the blend of both of their different second and first era styles.
Okay, for sure. That's definitely what it was. Like, for the most part, when Metallica does a song like Battery or whatever, like the whole song is like Battery. Whereas here we get like part of the song is like fast thrashy, very fast actually. Like you even mentioned, that's like a proper thrash riff. And the drums, I think, were really helping that. And I think maybe because of that riff in particular is why the kick drum was a little bit lower throughout this whole song. And I think that just because it wouldn't sound as good.
Couldn't make it. You couldn't have it with all that low end and have it going that long,
for sure.
That high because it was.
And then there was the double bass part too, as well, which is
that would just be one long single sausage bass. If it
which Lars played. He played all that double bass first take.
No correction.
He walked
whatsoever.
in at 9 a.m. and he's just like, guys, I'm doing Moth into the Flame, and he just sat down and he played it, and he's like, that's it. And he went to lunch.
Mic drop. Stick drop.
The James being so much, I'm going to go with more present on the left is starting to irritate me.
Not bothering me yet. I haven't noticed that. I just am like enjoying the riffs. You know, when I sit and listen to the guitars, I guess I am just listening to him, really, which is an interesting point to think about. You know, I'm not really listening to the whole mix. My ear is focused on him.
There is guitar on the right, but I think your ear is definitely being pulled hard to the left. And
it's that old, I think it's just low pass filtered more. Like the low pass filter is just slightly lower than on James' guitar. So there's more high frequencies in James.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, since we're deciding tonight to be an audio engineer's channel, I was going to say somewhere around the 2.5 to 3K range seems to be more present, that attacky
For sure.
bit on...
Which, when you've EQ'd guitars...
This was funny. Today at school, we were playing the EQ game on Sound Gym. In fact, Sound Gym.
Here we go again.
If you would like to sponsor me, I would really like a year-long subscription to Tone Gym, which is the music one. It's like for musical intervals and stuff. And I am epically bad at that. You guys can go look up my account and see how bad I did on the little, not you people at home, but Sound Gym people can go look up and see how bad my little introductory game was. It was embarrassingly bad. I also was not trying that hard. This is my excuse. But one of the students, we were playing one of the EQ games on Sound Gym, and he said that we were asking, like, what parts of the frequency spectrum are you really good at, and what parts do you have troubles with? And one of the students said, the stuff below 200 hertz I'm really good with, and the stuff up in the high end I'm really good with, but stuff between 200 and 1K is tricky for me. And the first thing out of my mouth was, go EQ guitars for 100 hours.
Yeah.
Like you'll get that part.
Try to get any mid-range in a guitar ever that doesn't sound woofy as crap when put into the whole mix. That's the thing that always kills me about guitars. Like, if you just solo a guitar and you EQ it so that it sounds great, just soloed, and then you put it in the mix, it's like...
Yeah, have I done my I don't think guitar tone thing is real on the channel yet?
I don't think you've done that.
You mean the knob?
It's
just connected to nothing? Yeah.
Oh, I just don't like guitar tone is just so weird because of that. And also, I think that's why that, like, when we're listening to Metallica, which we tend to do a lot on this channel.
It's what the people want.
It's what the people want. It is what the algorithm at least wants people to want. Algorithm. We love you, the algorithm.
The band?
But I think that's why, like, even in this, like, I know that there's bass there, and sometimes you hear it, like in the last song or two songs ago, where it's like, oh, there's some like rattle up on top of the bass, and it's right in the middle, and the guitars are panned out wide. Like, that's sort of fun. It's kind of rumbling in there with the kick drum. Like, that's neat. But you don't get it, and I think that's because, like, you know, James says guitars must actually sound good.
Oh, I definitely think that that's a good point.
And that's why I think why the bass gets pushed down so
But
much.
I also think that, like, I don't know if I've ever heard a metal album or a heavy album that I've thought this sounds good because of the bass.
I used to be in your camp on that.
Although the funny thing about now that I think about saying that out loud,
even bass players that were in the band that I was in, and I would say bass tone is a myth. Shut up. Keep playing the dumb slow thing in the background to connect me to the drums, little boy. But I have started to mix, and if you guys go listen to any of the stuff that any of my bands have turned out recently, those mixes are completely reliant, probably to a fault, on bass tone. And like, I do that now. Like, I just go whatever. I carve out the guitar so the bass will fit in there. And then, like, I make a whole mix. And some of that might be going on. Like, if you muted the bass bus, you might just be like, oh, that was the entire song.
This whole song.
I was
Like,
just
you
thinking to
can't
myself,
hear it.
if I had an opportunity to hear any song like this where you just hit mute on the bass track so that I could hear what's missing.
oh
it's
yeah,
like,
half of the song would go away, 100%. Yeah.
That might be more fun with Metallica than
I was going to say, I think with Metallica, though, there are more mids and lows in the guitars than the average. It depends. Like, different styles of metal would lend themselves to having more or less mid to low tone in the guitars, you know? Like that Green Lung thing, there's no high frequencies in any of that mix at all. And the guitars are just, you know, stoner rock, doom metal type stuff is all just like low frequency or low to mid frequency, analog sounding, you know, old Black Sabbath sounding stuff. But something that's like black metal, you can't, if there's constant blast beats, you cannot have all this low frequency in the guitars. You just can't. And the guitars aren't playing low anyway. What are they doing? They're doing right, and then they're doing like disharmonious intervals at the same time to make it sound creepy and
Yes.
you know what I mean.
Dissonant.
Yeah, dissonant. That's
Not
the word. Not disharmonious. It's disharmonious too, but dissonant. They're doing dissonant parts to make it sound creepy and whatever. And so like you would not have low frequencies in guitars like that. It would muddy everything.
Yeah, harmonies are weird.
And then when you mix an album that has parts like that in it, you have to take the low frequencies out of the guitars during those kind of parts.
Anyway, bass players that are watching this.
Yeah, you suck.
No.
You're a dime a dozen.
Sometimes I think I can play bass and then I try and I can't. But anyway, just make sure that your bass tone is really rattly, and when the guitar players pass out,
Really
just
farty, like we always say.
Turn it up. We like
pass
that.
out.
We like that fret rattle. Put new strings on. Go take a loan out and put new strings on your bass. It needs it, and make sure that thing rattles to all hell, like the Sans amp will do it for you. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't see why you can't cut all that low out of the guitar and then just put it in from the bass instead.
can.
So it's still, yeah.
You can't. KBR 1656 writes, I think he might like Moth into the Flame or Atlas Rise. That is correct. Patrick did like those.
Yep.
And then Edge of Carnage 8270, who I will read the comment here quickly sometime soon after the next couple one of the next couple songs, replies at KBR 1656, I hope he will. And he does. How can you not like those songs? This is probably all going to get cut. Me monologuing. Maybe not. Maybe zoom in.
I like mention. Yeah, can get me out of there. I like mentioning comments and interactions that we have on the channel. Don't let me forget at the end of the video to mention our Discord channel.
Olin Sumalayan, I'm probably butchering your name. I apologize for that. Says, I'm probably most excited about this one. It's Metallica's turn to their thrash roots without garbage production this time.
Shut up. Get out of the way.
I would say, Chris Parker talking to his cat, I'm going to go out on a bold note here. I'm not leaving, but I'm going to say something bold. I don't think any of the Metallica albums' production is trash.
Good. I agree.
I think that there's stuff that's weird.
I repeat, then you are not listening to them correctly.
I'm
Maybe you need to listen to something that has actual trash production.
I think that
go down and find a 2.
Watch any reaction on my channel this year from any band.
I'm talking about actual trash, like something that's well below anything that would ever be professional.
That you just described Saint Anger.
I did not.
You did.
No, because I could not make that album sound like that.
I'm going to say that Saint Anger is vibey. That's what I'm going to say today.
Speaking of that, though, Chris Parker, one thing that I want us to do on the channel moving forward, probably into the next year. Yeah.
Save the original version of Death Magnetic. That was actual trash.
Right. And that was mastering probably. But one thing I want us to do in the future is, since we're having so much trouble with listening to full albums, I thought, why can't we do something like we used to do on Music Room, where we have a theme, like, for example, one episode of this episode, one version of this I want to do one point is bring in a song from a band's album that sounds great, and then a song from the same band who've released a bad sounding album. And I want us to listen to one song from each and talk about the mixes, compare them, listen to them side by side, intermix them, because I think the most shocking thing, your ears can play really funny tricks with you. When you're when you're listening to a full album, you can grow accustomed to things that you know aren't correct, and you can just become okay with it. But the shocking thing is when you listen to things side by side, and that it can be the most shocking thing in the world. Cool. But we're here to talk now about for people who don't know, I think I said this before we started, I really want to eat this awesome hard 70% dark chocolate candy, but we can't. Chris and I each have one. We're going to eat it when we get halfway through the album, but we can't get there if we don't listen to these next 2 dang songs. So Dream No More in 3, 2, 1. Okay. I just want to say I like how the hi-hat sounds on this album the whole time I've heard it.
This one I don't. I've liked it, but I don't like it right there in that intro. It sounds super compressed to me. It sounds like frantic.
Oh. There's less sub-frequencies in the kick here.
Mm-hmm.
There it is.
Clickier.
Nice. Vocals really low. It's
Really low,
disappointing.
yeah.
Disappointing.
Let me try to read Metallica's mind here. This is not how James usually sings.
And so he felt
He's
self-conscious.
embarrassed about it.
100%.
How can he be embarrassed? He's the biggest frontman of all time, and he's been doing it for 40
consistently
years.
said throughout the years he's not a singer.
I've only ever watched one long interview with this band, and the entire time my impression was that they all felt like they shouldn't be famous or popular. Pretty
That's
much.
fine.
So
I believe
like
that.
Whoa. Is that just a guitar note?
Yeah.
That,
Listen to that.
oh, I love this. Do you hate that?
I don't know. I don't
No.
hate this.
No, the chorus. No?
No. I
Okay.
wasn't really listening to the music. I was listening to sounds, but
Well, to me, it was more just the fact that the riff was mostly just chug, 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 chug. Like one note. I personally love that. I think it's awesome. I wish the
A
vocals
little
would
bit
be
of
up.
bass creeps up in the space when the guitar
I've
stops.
heard bass a couple times in this song distinctly.
That was cool.
Yeah, and then it got really less compressed there. The compression is all on the low frequencies.
Yeah, the low frequencies are very like claustrophobic.
And
right?
that's why when they do some like stabs and stuff, it's way less compressed.
Hours later.
Didn't say anything that time, you
Thank
jerks.
you. But the one,
Damn right,
the one in All
jerks.
Nightmare Long is so much better.
Yeah, because he just took a breath now before playing the guitar.
Well, it takes a lot of work.
It would be awesome if that was Kirk breathing. That would be really cool.
Plus, that was a big pause. Like, that was a break.
It was
which I
really
love.
nice.
I love when they do that.
Yeah. This album produced by Greg Feidelman.
produced.
I was gonna have you look at that earlier, and I forgot to say something.
Additional recording by Mike Giles and Sarah Lynn Killian. And Sarah Lynn Killian also co-produced some of the songs, like the bonus songs and stuff. So whoever she is, that's pretty awesome. This should be big, but it's not because the vocals are too quiet, right?
The whole thing and like that reverb delay treatment that the vocals get in that spot, like the guitars could have also had that and like made it seem
I don't know, I like the way the
spacious.
guitars.
I mean, I like the way they sound.
Yeah, I like that.
Could have played with the space a little bit.
So far, I would say this is kind of a mid song.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was almost a little bit of a gang shout there. Is he saying Cthulhu Awaken?
Yes.
Yep.
Dude, that's pretty awesome. Except he's pronouncing it Cthulhu like an idiot. Okay, dude who calls it Kerberos.
Those aren't even the same letters.
No, I know that, but I'm just... Wait, stop! No! Okay, we know there's guitars and drums on the next one. Sorry.
I do have now a comment to read.
Okay. Let me lean back so I look even fatter.
Here's what I will say about YouTube. Oh, you guys doing a premiere? Edge of Carnage is like asking about this all the time. He's very excited. We're very excited for you too, Edge of Carnage.
We'll definitely do a premiere for this. The only problem is, it doesn't matter at this point. People will be watching the premiere or watching it later. But like, if I edit this over the next 2 days, and we make the premiere Sunday, I mean, it depends when you guys want to do it too. Like,
I can't.
Oh,
Well,
where
I
the
could,
heck did
maybe.
it go?
I was going to tell you to take a screenshot of it. You look, and we'll talk about that song. So, about the premieres, like if I edit this video and then we release it and have the premiere only like a few days later, there's only like 1 day for people to see that there's going to be a premiere. I feel like it's best to have like 4 days or so before the premiere comes out. You know what I mean? So,
But Thanksgiving is coming up.
correct. So I don't want to do it. I don't want to wait like 4 or 5 days because then we'll be into Thanksgiving, unless we
Right.
want to do it around Thanksgiving so that people will have time off. But
Friday.
I personally,
Only in America. Nobody in America watches this.
yeah. Well, actually,
Everybody tells us
That's
that they're
interesting.
in Europe.
actually, 70% of our audience is from the United
Not
States.
the ones that actually like us, though. Anyway,
That's definitely
I
true.
have found the comments
Okay.
I was looking for. Mr. Creepy Boss.
Right. Which I
Right.
think that's just Creeps, right?
No.
Under a different logo
Is
or a different thing.
I think it is.
Yeah, it's just Creeps. Yeah.
Oh, that's Creeps. He says, "A."
Shout out to him. He's great.
My prediction is that your favorite song, spelled with the OU, which probably means that either he is a proper spelling American, not using the American spelling, or from
Oh, you mean favorite?
favor,
Favorite.
which
yeah.
is the correct way. Stupid Americans and their stupid printing presses. by
Actually,
the
you would be surprised.
penny.
We probably invented that, and then they stole it from us because the British steal everything cool from us.
That is incorrect.
Is that what they do? Is that what
It
a
absolutely
country that's
is
been around
true.
5,000
Beans.
years
They
longer than this
stole
one does?
beans from us. Anyway,
What can I say? They're
my
doing?
prediction, Creeps says, is that your favorite song will be Dream No More. Your least favorite will be Bleh. Hope you enjoy all of it. It is actually quite a good album. I would agree with you on that, Creeps. Then Edge of Carnage replies,
No, wait. When you say bleh, you mean a song we haven't got to yet.
yes.
So you don't want
I
to.
do.
You don't
I'm
want to
not
like
going-
give it away.
I'm not
Okay.
going to give it away. I think his fave will be Bleh. In my opinion.
Is
in
it
all
the same
caps-
Bleh?
No, it's a different Bleh.
Okay.
In my opinion, Dream No More is trash, and I think he will think that, but he does hate One, so I don't know.
I get the comparison to One because people like having, but there's no elements of One in anything we've heard so far. Dream No More that's the one we just listened to.
Isn't what? Wasn't
Yep.
it?
Yep.
Yeah.
So I do
That
like
is
that.
a very Patrick type of song.
I definitely understand why people say that. I just love the dum 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 dum. Like, love it.
Right.
Love it. However, like I said, so far on this album, the thing that's disappointing me the most in terms of the songwriting, I've already discussed the kick drum and the volume of the vocals. The thing that's kind of slightly disappointing me is that I feel like they've gone back to, they did this on Death Magnetic as well, so I shouldn't feel surprised about this, but they've gone back to not writing catchy vocals, really. There have been a few parts on here that I really enjoyed, and they had, like, he had some harmony parts and whatnot in there, and it was nice, and I could see myself singing along with it in the car, which is one of the criteria that I usually bring up. Like, if I'm listening to this in the car, can I sing along with any part of this song, or is it just too complex for me to, want to do that? And so, like, that song, I probably could sing along with it, because he's just going dun 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 da 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 da, or whatever the rhythm is there. Excuse me. So I did like that. However, I did kind of feel like that song was kind of a mid-range song. Mm-hmm. There was nothing about it that really stood out to me, other than the simplicity of the riff in the chorus, which is probably my favorite part of the song. And to me, that is not like a cool enough thing to make that my favorite song on the album. Like, I definitely like, I think it was Now That We're Dead. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and honestly, Moth into Flame was great too, because that's the one with the thrash parts.
One more song on this half of the record.
And it's my favorite song on the album.
Then we can eat our chocolate.
Many people said that this is the best song on the
record. Oh boy, 8 minutes, 15 seconds. This is old school Metallica.
I love this song.
I
think that you will be very surprised by this song, Patrick.
Okay. This is Halo on Fire is one people have mentioned since we started. When people would mention their, like, favorite Metallica songs, Halo on Fire was mentioned in the tops of some of the people's lists. So, all right, ready? Mm-hmm. In 3, 2, 1. I was kind of hoping for it to start slow. Hopefully this isn't another Creeping Death situation where that song's just, like, super boring to me. And it's like everyone's favorite Metallica song and I just don't get it.
I don't think it'll happen that way.
So the kick and snare sounds are pretty consistent
throughout the album.
The guitar tones are pretty different on every song.
I guess I don't notice that, but
this one doesn't have much of that bite to it.
Chris, I just listened to Bleeding Me again the other day. What a song.
What a song, man.
And you told me that there's a version of that on Symphony of Metallica. That is the thing I am most looking forward to. Vocals too low, of course. Auto-tune.
Don't say that it wasn't invented yet.
By this point it was. If that guy wants to come back in and tell us it wasn't, though, please feel free to tell us if you edited this album.
There is something that James does that sounds like auto-tune, even when
some singers do that.
Little, like, phasery stuff on the vocals there.
Gotta do it, though. Gotta do it.
Yeah.
And the chorus on the name of the song. Gotta do it. Ooh. Oh, yeah. Give me this. Give me this for a minute. Love the tone. It's low in volume. Ooh, tasty. I was not expecting the one everyone liked to be clean verses for better
bass.
Yeah, you can always.
We don't have crazy distorted guitars. We get the bass.
Kick sounds a lot different, but nice. Do you think there was any kick replacement on this? I mean, you can really tell the dynamics of him playing. Possibly just the sub frequencies, but I think even that is, you know, changes with how hard he's hitting it. I love the guitars here. This just doesn't seem like a Metallica song, really. All right, what do you got during the bridge? Do something cool, Metallica.
I think this is where... Not yet.
Do you feel like there's slightly less distortion on the guitars here?
I think this is a moment when the bass is really filling out a lot of what you're hearing.
And I think that the high frequency portions of the distorted guitars is way smoother in this than it is in the other songs. Like, it's not as pokey, attacky,
right,
as it is on some of the other ones.
Just move your mic either that way or that way, and then angle it. Because I want people to see your face anyway. You're like covering yourself up. Don't make me get out the windscreen pop filter.
I don't use pop.
Don't make me get out the pop filter, young Christopher.
What's the time? What's your timestamp right now?
4:37, 4:40.
Okay.
Oh god, that must mean we're coming up on something. I'm gonna shut
No,
up.
I just bumped something. I had to start over.
Oh, okay.
There's even bass there.
Well, the bass is amazing here. Why can't it sound like that the whole time? Maybe it does. They just got the corn microphone turned on a little. This just doesn't seem like a Metallica song to me.
I would disagree with that.
I don't know.
You know that Metallica
Like-
is literally the only band that people said it doesn't sound like Metallica when it's literally Metallica playing the song?
Like, this sounds like I'm liking this for reasons other than the reasons I normally like a Metallica song.
That was a super Kirk Hammett guitar solo.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah,
Here
but it was
comes.
only half.
Here comes their Knights of Cytonia moment.
Oh, okay.
I love this. This is the best
Just
part of the
open
song.
chords. This is like a driving song. Do a different note, please, Kirk. Oh, change it up. If this fades out, this feels like a fade out song. I would think we're past Metallica fading songs out, though. They want these suckers to last as long as humanly possible. Ooh. I want to say parts of the lead guitar sound very rushed. I've noticed it several times. Like Kirk is ahead of the beat.
So it makes this exciting.
Yeah. Makes it feel like you're falling forward as opposed to trudging. I do really like that one. I don't know if on first listen that would be my favorite one. However, possibly with like more listens, that one will grow on me more. I feel like
I think for the fact that the way that one sounds, if people are saying that, I don't know enough about like the general opinions about this record to know this, but if it's based on sound, I would say that might be the best sounding one on the record so far. I like the guitar tone the best, and I like how that you can actually hear the bass distinctly, and the guitars are out here and the bass is right here, and they work together, and it's pretty and it's beautiful and it's fat and it's rattly and it's nice.
And the kick wasn't in your too much. I do think that it just really kills me that during the slow parts, it bothers me the most during the like clean guitar verses when James' vocals are just a smidge too low in volume. That's where it bothers me the most. I said that with The Day That Never Comes on Death Magnetic.
Yeah.
That would probably be one of my favorite Metallica songs. But the low volume of his vocals in that song really take points away from me. Now, this song reminded me of that song a little bit. But I just think that The Day That Never Comes and Nothing Else Matters and any of the others, The Unforgiven, 1, 2, and even 3, all of those songs, when we had a clean guitar part, even one, the clean guitar part is like iconic, right? Like melodious, and it just makes you feel like, wow. Whereas this just felt like it's a clean guitar part during the verse. Like it didn't blow me away. Maybe that's because it wasn't like the featured point of the song. It was just a part during the song, which was really fun to have that because dynamically on the record, it's like if you're thinking about it, like if this is made to be a double album for an artistic reason, having this be the end of the first half, the first side.
Oh, sure.
It makes sense, right? To have this be the one that's the end of the first half. And so that's interesting. However, I feel like because Metallica's like just the melodies of their acoustic guitar parts and their clean electric guitar parts, they're all just so iconic. Even if you think about Enter Sandman or any of the songs off of that album, like, and I know that's all different. It's all different. But to me, in this song, the clean guitar part wasn't, it didn't feel like that was necessarily supposed to be the thing that's like the most impressive part. However, it's obviously the most different thing we've heard on the album thus far. So it is something that stands out a lot. And I feel like it didn't live up to the standards of previous Metallica clean electric guitar verses.
All right.
Does that make sense?
I think so, yeah.
Like when I just think of The Day That Never Comes, right, with the da 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 da, like that is just cherry. It's so good. This had vibes of that, but there was no lead part over any of it.
There's no like theme like that.
There was no
That's
theme
true.
like that, and everyone knows that I love lead themes in music.
Why do you like this song, Chris Parker?
Sorry, yes, I should have asked that. Good job.
It's the second half when it changes.
Okay.
That is just, for some reason, that's so good, man. That whole section I love that whole bit.
You know what would have made that way better? Strummed acoustic guitar. That would have made that really cool. I think. Just another rhythmic thing. Just strummed acoustic guitar.
And I will say, at no point did I ever realize that this is the Bleeding Me of this album, and how often my favorite Metallica songs are the Bleeding Me of whatever album they're on.
Yeah.
Every time, man.
Yeah. But I will say, in Bleeding Me, they go back to the chorus. They did not go back to the chorus in this song.
No, they changed songs in this one.
Yeah. So it's the one. In some respect, it's a little bit like the one. You said Knights of Sidonia.
Right. In the sense that they, build up to a break and then hit, and then they drop into this super rock thing that's totally different from everything so far that they've done.
Which, speaking of that, we should make Chris react to the 20th anniversary edition of Absolution.
Why?
Just because I don't think he's ever heard Muse before.
Oh, I didn't realize there was a 20th anniversary.
Oh yeah,
edition.
it's coming out soon, and it's like a big deal. There's a whole bunch of bonus content and all this stuff, but it's the first time it's ever been remastered. And I think that that album needs to be remastered.
It does. And
no drum replacement on that album. I'll tell you that.
The fact that it's 20 years old is vile. I don't want to know that.
That's one of those things to make you feel
that
old
is
now.
a hellish piece of information. God.
So anyway, maybe we'll think
Why
about
do we
that
do
in the future.
anything?
I've listened to like 2 Muse songs.
How do you feel about Halo on Fire?
I think that I'm kind of in your boat that maybe on, like, I guess I don't, from the songs that I do remember from this record that I really like, and I'm thinking about Atlas Rise and Hardwired and Moth and
Spit Out the Bone, probably.
And Spit Out the Bone.
Spit Out the Bone is so good.
And right, I don't even know if I ever bought this one. I don't remember that. I probably didn't.
I do think I have a copy.
But this is not one of those songs that, at least at this point, is one that, because like I do Moth Into the Flame in my head like fairly regularly.
Now that's the one that had the thrash parts in it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. One thing I do want to say is that song will grow on me in the future because some of the Metallica albums I enjoy putting on and listening to. Some of them I don't, right? This is absolutely one that I would put on and listen to. And it's a huge bummer that it's not on one disc. So that's a huge bummer to me. But, and maybe I'll just put them all on one. I was going to say,
you could put it on one disc yourself.
Probably put them all on one. But like having that song in there and listening to this album without pausing like we're doing, I think would be a breath of fresh air. And I will really appreciate it more in listening to the album into context with the rest of the album. Yeah. So, all right, Chris, now we can each have our 70% dark chocolates.
Okay.
Why do you have to say it like that?
I don't know. He's very proud of these. I don't.
It's
really
the only thing
love
that's
dark
Chris.
chocolate
It's the only thing that's written on there. It says Edel Bitter 70%.
Smells good. Huh. That's pretty good. Hi.
Yep.
Coat the throat.
Sorry, Chris.
It's fine.
You should feel sorry because this is like, you know how rich people get food that poor people don't? This is what they eat.
70%. The rich people get 100%.
You know people who get like fanned with one of those leaves?
I think that 100% dark chocolate is like even palatable, really.
Isn't that what coffee is?
No, I'm sure it's garbage.
100% dark chocolate.
That was pretty good. I'm not a dark chocolate guy, but that's pretty good.
I'm not a dark chocolate guy really either, but I wanted us to do something.
Haha, Patrick has to bleep that.
Uh-huh.
I didn't realize I even did it. Anyway,
That's all right.
next song, Confusions. Disc 2.
Disc 2 at 2.5 hours long. Dear Lord.
Oh my God.
But we are now on to Confusion, track 7 on this double album, or track 1 on disc 2, if you want to call it that. In 3, 2, 1. Love that right away.
Isn't that kind of how Hardwired starts too?
I don't think so. I love this, though, so far.
This reminds me of another song of theirs, and I don't know which one.
Me too.
Older.
Maybe I'll think of it. I like the snare drum stabs or whatever.
I like the snare too. It sounds good.
You can hear the bass with it.
Yep.
Wham, wham. Epic.
I wonder if they prove the bells hold. And then it changes.
Dude, this is cool so far. I'm loving everything I'm hearing. It's too long of an intro, but Metallica likes to do that. This is 72 Seasons precursor. How far are we into this? Ooh. Keep this tempo, please, when you're doing the verse. I like this. Yeah.
Doing the James Hetfield starting on the second line of a verse somehow with the first line, right?
Yeah.
Like,
He's definitely singing more here.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Oh, I love those triplets. The da-da-da, da-da-da, right? Oh. I love this.
me too.
This is probably my second favorite or first favorite song on the album so far. We'll see what it does. It probably fades out. How long is it? I didn't even look.
6:40.
6:40. Okay. Oh, we can get rid of this. I love the tone.
Little neck pickup action there, probably, I think.
Okay. Ooh. They don't do that very often. That's cool.
Right, with those little
The alternating
diddles in
lead.
there.
What happened?
The spider on my mic arm.
Oh, that'll be funny in replay. You just killed Charlotte. Burn it with fire.
It's not dead yet.
No one will judge you. Step on it.
It climbed back up.
It likes the song. Ooh, the bass is gone. We can hear the guitars for a sec. There you go, Chris. You can hear.
I can hear it. I need to follow up on this thing I'm doing.
Those guitars are really... I mean, I'm sure there was a little bit of automation there to make that sound like that, but... they're pretty full range.
I dropped my cough drop. I like all those bends.
God, Chris, it's not gonna hurt you.
Fatality.
More of a babality.
I really like some of the riffs in this song. Oh, this is neat. This is the beginning, right? Again. Great. I liked that one. I liked that a lot. Now I gotta find my cough drop. It is essential.
Oh my god.
That's all right. You can
Did you
talk.
spit it out?
No, I was gonna put it in my mouth and it fell.
That whole last song was
Just
Chris being scared of a spider and.
Listen,
Patrick
it was
listening.
right here by my face.
Did it drop down from the ceiling? I hate that.
No, it was already over here somewhere, and it just crawled up. And then when I blew it off the mic arm, it just crawled back up nothing, like they do. I don't consider myself someone afraid of spiders. Usually if I see one, I just let it exist, but it was so close to my face. I don't want to touch it, you see. That's the difference. I'll allow it, but I can't touch it. Don't get on me, bugs.
That's all right. People have their different things. I personally would have just punched the spider in the face immediately and smushed it till the day is long.
That was a sentence.
This is super gross. It was on my shirt near my groin, so
What an adventure that song was.
What an adventure
that was something.
I was going to say earlier, we've established before that James Hetfield writes songs about three things: drugs, war, and fantastical creatures. And that was, and this one and several of the previous ones are all falling into place where they belong.
Yep. The Cthulhu one was really neat. I wanted to mention that, how he was like mentioning, except he was calling him Cthulhu, which is a dumb idiot thing to do.
It
But
wasn't
from a man who
just
said,
a
"What
hard
don't
T.
kill you make you more strong." What do you expect?
For the love
But-
of God.
I'm not.
For love of the God,
Yeah, I'm not.
what don't kill you make you more strong. Did anyone notice that I hid that somewhere in the Rob Zombie video?
Yes, of course.
Did you notice that? I thought I did a pretty good
play,
job.
Where?
Did you play the audio?
No, I put the words on screen during the intro part, the creepy intro.
Oh,
But I did it in such a way that
there's a joke.
it's very
I didn't catch
subliminal.
it.
No, we bring it up every now and then. It's one of the things on the channel, I think. But I liked that song. However, I do feel like me and Chris weren't paying as much attention to it. Let's just
I was
go
there
on.
for it.
Let's just go on to the
Is
next
this
one.
thing starting to sound better, or am I just like becoming accustomed to it because we've been listening to it off and on for the last 2.5 hours?
I think the first two songs were mixed like they were supposed to be like singles or whatever, maybe, and like those just had massive kick drum. And it was affecting everything you were hearing. Just the fact that the kick was so massive. And now on everything we've heard since then, at one point we said, I think there's less subs in the kick. Since that, and I think that was on track 3, since that point, it's been that way. Unless my ears are hearing it differently, like you said. Like our ears got accustomed to it.
You could argue that this is Metallica's most consistent production.
No.
Really?
Oh yeah, Load sounds the same from front to back.
No. All right.
And the thing is, there's more happening on Load because there's background vocals in a lot of the songs. So
Okay.
background vocals here.
there are, and I enjoy when they're there. I wish that all the vocals were obviously moved up in volume, but now there was a moment there where we got to hear the guitars going without the bass, which is what we were talking about, and you really could tell. Now that might not be an accurate representation of what it would sound like during the middle of the song,
Really isn't, but yes.
because they probably automated the snot out of those parts during this.
But it didn't seem like it changed it that much.
You could tell the bass was missing for sure.
yeah,
and
for
that's
sure.
like that was the interesting part, and maybe not what the guitars were doing, but like,
Correct.
like
Yeah.
oh yeah, boy, the bass really is propping this whole thing up.
Yeah, I almost wish that they would play around with stuff like that a little bit more, but
Well, and even in the beginning of that song, where the guitars are just ringing out and the drums are playing,
Yeah.
that is like, I mean, I know that it's like cliche or whatever, but to have the bass going
Yeah.
with the bass, and then the guitars come back in and it was
Do that.
there, which
Yeah.
would have been cool.
yeah.
How familiar are you with Am I Evil from Garage?
I don't even know what you mean.
I know that song, but like not.
Is that
band?
a Metallica song?
The
Or is
band?
that a
Oh,
cover?
Garage Inc. I thought you meant the band
yeah.
Garage.
Oh no.
I don't know. See, this is why I don't want to talk about Garage without reading everything first.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Just
I know
accept
that.
that you don't know it, and you can have a genuine reaction to it when we listen to it.
because
Did this remind you of that?
So. Let me do a quick refresher on myself here.
I mean, there were parts of that felt familiar, probably because there were some generic riffs in there. However, I liked it because of that. That was just confusion, right?
Yes.
Yeah, there were some really cool riffs the first half of it. Like I mentioned, those triplet riffs. Da-da-dun, da-da-dun. Really enjoyed that. And then the chorus was, again, one that feels like you could kind of sing along or shout with. Confusion! Like, there was a lot of 72 Seasons in this one.
Here's a question.
The album 72 Seasons.
Do you have the remaster of Lightning?
Yeah.
Is it within grasp?
Yeah.
Is Am I Evil on the deluxe? Is that the deluxe remaster or just the regular one?
It's just the regular remastered version.
Okay.
There's no bonus songs or anything.
Because
do you want me to look on Garage?
Yeah, and I know it's on there, but this one I found on YouTube on Metallica's channel lists Am I Evil as being part of the Ride the Lightning Deluxe remaster.
It says Garage Days Revisited 84.
Yeah, it's a Diamond Head song.
Interesting. Okay.
A what?
Diamond Head.
Oh.
I wondered if that was the case. Well, at any rate, I had suspected Am I Evil was a cover because it's on Garage, but I feel like that the intro to that reminded me a lot of Am I Evil a lot.
Okay.
That's
awesome.
Which was so much I said a lot twice.
Which is interesting because the Am I Evil song is from 1984.
Right, but if you listen, if you pulled that up and listened to it, you'd be like, oh, wow, it's the same. Which is neat, I guess. But then they have one on here called Am I Savage, which I think is even more like Am I Evil. So it's an interesting thing that's happening.
All right. ManUnkind, which is either super cool or dumb.
I like this
one.
The
capital letters in the middle of the song name is a little bit like...
I think it's cool. See, when I hear the word mankind, I think of obviously WWE. And ManUnkind is totally like an alternate ego to Mankind that they would do. Now, he already had 3 alter egos, obviously, with Dude Love and Cactus Jack. And then eventually Mick Foley. And he's obviously known for coming out in the Royal Rumble as all 3, the 1998 Royal Rumble, where he came out as all 3 personas and was thrown out as all 3 of them because he's ridiculous. But
there's no quicker way to make people stop listening to something than to start talking about
Creeps
wrestling.
Is here.
I've seen it happen.
Creeps is here, and he liked it.
There are people that like the wrestling.
Metallica and wrestling is like this.
Oh, the crossover is crazy.
Right? Some of the stuff they do is the most dumb, idiotic thing you've ever seen, but a lot of it's pretty cool, and it's all live. So there you go. ManUnkind. In 3, 2, 1.
Excellent bass tone.
Bad timing on the guitar. Very cool bass, though, yes. It's just this for 7 minutes. It's Anesthesia Part 2.
I bet they did this live. I bet they just sat
together
down and looked at each other and played it.
Probably. That's really cool. So that's how they did it. It sounds really good now that I'm listening to it as a whole. This is cool.
There's some
you
load
like this.
riff for you.
I do like this.
Tell me that's not a load riff.
It absolutely is a load riff. Yeah. Oh.
I love this.
Yep.
Chaos awaiting for Adam's return. Madness spawning as we watch it burn.
Right, a 1, 2, 2, and 3.
To my mind,
totally changed there.
Left myself behind. Blind, lead blind. Quest to find faith in ManUNkind.
Interesting kick drum thing there. Love the alternating stuff. Ooh. I feel like his vocals are louder.
I was wondering if you were going to say that.
Yeah.
So I was thinking so too.
I think that you can hear them better, but I think the mix is just different enough that
Maybe they're just less compressed during parts.
I think they're pretty compressed.
Right. In relation to everything else. If that's the chorus, that's kind of a weak chorus. Oh, interesting. They're doing interesting timing stuff.
Yeah, there's...
Love that delay.
Oh, a little low pass and distortion on it.
I love it.
There's more of this on this album.
Yeah, but not a ton of it.
No, which is good. If you do too much, it's stupid.
It could be too much. But it's not too much.
It's not too much.
But it could be if they did a lot more.
So now we got a different song with a different chorus.
Oh, hey, we do. Last solo Kurt wrote for the record.
Because he ran out of ideas or what?
Yeah, that was the joke.
This is a good chorus. But you're right, it didn't kick in till like...
And then now back to the first song.
But like on the last record, whoever produced that, who produced
Death Magnetic? Oh, I don't have it here.
Rick Rubin's famously.
Okay, that's what I... of course, because the mastering thing, of course, was Rick Rubin. Well, I mean, right? Whatever. But
I don't know enough about him.
But Greg Feidelman recorded it, right?
He was the producer, yeah.
No, he recorded it. I don't think he didn't get produced. He produced this.
Oh,
and he recorded
Death
Magnetic and maybe stuff before that.
But he's been working with them for a long time.
And do you think that they finally just said, okay, let's let the audio guy produce this, and then like the record like really sounds good?
Is he the guy that did 72 Seasons?
Oh, that's a good thing to check.
God, I gotta open this crap. Two hours later. Produced by Greg Feidelman.
Now, I would say
Mixed by Greg Feidelman.
And I bet the same thing is for, I'm not sure he mixed Death Magnetic. Too.
I don't have Death Magnetic down here with me because I was listening to it earlier today. So that's why I don't have it down here. I also don't have the remastered version of the Black Album down here either because I want to listen to that again soon. But
I do not remember thinking.
There's a lot of 72 seasons in what we're listening to now, by the way.
I don't remember 72 seasons like listening to it and being like, boy, this just sounds great. And
I think it sounded great, but the
fine.
vocals were too low and the hi-hat was too high.
No, the hi-hat thing.
You have to fold this in the order of the members' importance to the band. So Rob goes down first, then Kirk, then Lars, then James. Then you can slide it into the 72 seasons packet.
Good.
Actually, you got to do it like this so you can see James' withered face through the 72 logo.
Just like a jail.
Mm-hmm.
Greg Feidelman mixed Death Magnetic.
Okay.
It doesn't say whether you recorded it or not, from what I looked at.
I think he's the guy that was like, when I sent them the files, it wasn't like that for mastering or whatever.
Oh.
Because it was the mastering guy that said when I got sent the files, they were like that.
That's the story that I remember.
That's what it was. But
and they kept working with him. That's something.
I just, again, that was Rick Rubin, though, and they didn't continue working with him. But I want to say, it says additional recording by Mike Gillis and Sarah Lynn Killian, digital editing by Dan Monty, Jim Monty, and Jason Gossman.
Guys did it.
Those are the digital editing guys who probably did a lot of work in terms of retiming things to sound correct.
Why? Why don't you answer that directly, Patrick, on the internet?
What do you mean? Because they don't play correctly on time and you have to fix that in post.
Nobody does.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
I know.
That's
I was
that's
trying to get you to say a Lars thing.
Oh, no, that's the job of a digital editing person, I'm sure. Assistant engineering by Sarah Lynn Killian. So her name is on this a lot. Recorded and mixed in May 2015 through August 2016, so a whole year and several months. Mastered by Dave Collins in Los Angeles.
And that is not who did Death Magnetic or 72 Seasons, correct?
I don't know about 72 Seasons. Do not open that again.
I'm doing it. I'll put it away.
Oh my God. 4 hours later. You're not supposed
to put James in the front anyway, which is what you did.
James is always in the front.
You can't change it or it won't go in there.
It goes to the other. It just goes backwards from what you had it.
No.
Yes, it does. That's how it goes.
Don't break my copy trying to force a joke about how Lars is the most important person.
No, you had James in the cutouts, and James doesn't go in the cutouts. The black goes in the cutouts.
It doesn't.
I'm pretty sure it does.
I love this.
I'm pretty sure I bought it, so I remember.
I mean, he folded it and put it in, and it fit.
So credits. God, that album packaging. It's cool, but holy crap!
I told you. So you're looking for mastering.
Thank you for reminding me because I had literally forgotten. No, Bob Ludwig.
Bob Ludwig. Oh, good old.
He's
Bob.
the old guy. He's like 85 years old.
Hey Google, how old is Bob Ludwig?
Bob Ludwig is 78 years old.
He was probably 72 years old when he recorded it. Remember, order of importance.
I know. I'm doing it, and then it goes.
Can you imagine?
I think it goes like this.
Can you imagine having a 72-year-old guy record your album?
He didn't record it. He mastered it, which is even more surprising.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was
I think it's supposed to go this way, and you bent it. I see that the cardboard is bent, and I didn't do that.
Couldn't possibly is supposed to be that way.
Metallica, answer
me. Are you kidding me? Are you telling me you don't think James wanted his face facing out?
I'm sure that they wouldn't let it.
There's no way.
How would it be? That's the part. That's why I don't think it goes like that.
But I understand what you're saying, and that's why I initially noticed it. I was like, wow, that's stupid. Why don't they have the words on the other side? But it just doesn't go that way.
It just doesn't go. James designed that to be like that as a F you to Lars. Anyway, let's listen to another song.
That's what I'm saying. All right, I don't even remember what that song was anymore. So here comes Revenge. Ready, Chris? Oh, this is a 717. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. We'll see if the vocals are a little louder again, or if we perceive them to be. Is that done with the whammy?
Yeah.
Or a pedal, maybe? It's pretty cool. Unsettling. Ooh, I feel like this would normally have a hi-hat on it, but he's doing crashes.
Make sure you name the cymbals right. We get in trouble in the comments section.
It's obviously a Zildjian.
That is also how you say that.
Is it?
No.
How do you say it?
I can't say anything about drums on this channel. I get murdered.
I have no clue. I've only ever seen the word.
Zildjian.
Oh, okay.
That's how we say it in America. That's
cauliflower, cauliflower, whatever.
It's cauliflower.
I know, cauliflower, cauliflower, whatever. Wop, wop. Distorted bass?
I think that's a bass. It's got to be a bass thing.
It does have. I think that is what that is. That's cool.
Yeah.
Little space. It's kind of nice.
Guitars are a little too loud, though. Wop, wop. Snare reverb off to the left. No?
Still?
Not as much.
I caught some stuff like that before where there was effects pulling drums to one
Maybe
side
it's
or
just
the
the
other.
compression on the high frequencies. Why is this song not called Sweet Revenge? Come on. Come on, James. You got the revenge part right, though.
Give me one more measure to hear that bass.
I know,
I know, right? I feel like there's a muted guitar under it.
Dude,
like
there's a
mute.
lot of vocals.
Or is
in
there
this.
reverb on it? It's just getting clipped off at the end?
A lot of vocals in this song.
Lyrics.
It's an eye test.
Compared to ManUnkind. It's like a rap verse. I think this is the best Metallica's guitars have sounded on an album.
See, if we want to make this a 4-hour video, we could go back and listen to the guitar tone on Hardwired, because I think that we've got
Not Hardwired. Which one? 72?
Hardwired from this album.
Oh, sorry.
Because it feels to me like we've gotten a really long way from that, but it might just be me getting tired.
I mean, we can listen to 10 seconds of it in a bit when it's over.
But they're so smooth, and that when we started listening to Hardwired to Self-Destruct, the song, or Hardwired or whatever the heck
It's just called Hardwired, yeah. Are you all right, Chris?
Yeah.
I just felt like the
I'm just
guitars were so
listening.
much more pokey and attacky, and now I just feel like they're just so smooth.
Yeah.
I love the way they sound. 3-part harmony in there.
But there's some space. There's some space between. There's room verb, delay, whatever, to set those off the speakers a little bit, which we did not have at the beginning, as I recall. That it was just like there's a guitar cabinet on either side of your head.
I wonder if that song is the only one that's like down tuned to D, drop D or something. I like that solo. Still like it. Solo faded out.
There he says, "Here comes revenge."
Yeah, he says at the beginning of every chorus. I was looking at the words. I spent quite a long time reading the lyrics, debating if I could rap them over the music. Because I mentioned that, and I was like, I probably shouldn't. I like the chorus here.
I think the way the guitars sound, I think it allows the vocal to maybe be a little bit less compressed, and there's some more high frequency in there, and it makes it seem like it's not as buried as it was before.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that.
We do need to go listen to a little bit of Hardwired.
We will.
I think the snare sound has improved over the course of the record.
It's gotten, yeah.
Not my favorite snare sound ever, but
I think the riffs in this song have been fire.
This has some For Whom the Bell Tolls in it.
Yep. Except for it's not rhythmically as
Ooh, retardando.
lumpy wheel. Some cool little funsy sounds.
That's cool. That's every song on this album, on this half, has been great, I think.
Go listen to a little bit of
so we're gonna
Hardwired.
listen to Just hold on.
In the name of wretched pain, in the name of all creation, count insane. We're so
The vocals on this song are thinner than what we just listened to. They're high passed higher.
wide to self-destruct.
Or there's more low mid scooped out of them.
Yeah.
That's their. Yeah, those are pokier. It's not as big of a difference as I thought.
The kick is the most different thing to me.
Good. They are farther away. There is more reverb and delay on those guitars to spread them out than there was in the beginning, and they're pokier a little bit, not much.
Okay.
I'm sure of it.
I mean, to me, it sounds like it's coming. I mean, I wouldn't question it. It sounds like it's on the same album.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
it does.
absolutely.
So
Oh,
it's
I'm
not different
arguing.
enough.
I'm not arguing.
Yeah, no,
that.
for sure. You just really understand the nuances and stuff like that I wouldn't get.
I think. I mean, somebody's going to tell me that I'm wrong. Also, I've been listening to this for over 3 hours, and the headphones are pretty loud tonight too. I'm
yeah.
not going to argue with it, but
No,
they're pretty rocking.
I can turn it down if you want.
No, not at this point.
Oh, you weren't here when I blew out my eardrums before we started. Chris was trying to show me a video and I couldn't get the audio to load.
Oh God!
And I loaded it into a thing and it just. I mean, it just went. I had the whole moment.
Yep.
But also, I'm digging this, so I want to listen to it loud. So sorry about that. Fatigue of the ears is an absolute real thing.
Real thing.
I like that song. I liked every song we've had off this half of the album. I think the highs of the first album were a little bit better, but the highs off the first half of the album, like I think Moth into
The
Flames.
emotional highs,
I don't care about emotion. The Moth into
not the high frequencies, is what I meant.
the emotion of the high frequencies.
When you said the highs, sometimes when people say the highs, I mean stuff that's above 5 kilohertz.
No, I'm not talking about that.
I know. That's why I'm clarifying that you're not talking about
I'm talking about
that.
the best parts of
Yes.
the first half so far have not reached the best parts of side 2, but overall I feel like the three previous songs we've listened to are more consistently awesome than the first half.
I would agree with all of that.
So, all right, Chris, Parker, you got anything to say about that?
No.
I think there are less. I think that the mixes, I would have to go back and like listen to individual parts and do that comparison like we just did with Hardwired and what the Revenge song we just listened to.
Yeah.
But I think that there's some more. The mixes are a little less claustrophobic. The things have a little more space. Oh, it does say here that Greg Feidelman recorded the one before this, Death Magnetic.
Death Magnetic. I think you said that. You said he did record it.
I thought he did, but I didn't see the actual credit in the.
Because I know I looked up 72 Seasons, and he did 72 Seasons, and he did Death Magnetic, and this one. And I don't know what the hell happened on. That was Rick Rubin again on Saint Anger.
They're probably just, I mean, whatever. Again, getting into the minds of people who are at work, like whoopity doo. But like, I think that they're probably just trusting him a little bit more. And he probably says, "Lars, do you want to sound good?" Mm-hmm. Lars says, "I guess. I've done the bad thing enough. Let's just make some records that sound good."
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with age. Like in the one interview I've seen with them, they talked about having to let go of control. Lars specifically talked about having to let go of having control over every aspect of the band. Now, that was for 72 Seasons. But if that started during this process, I could see that, you know?
I mean, kind of that doesn't make... There's logical parts of that don't make sense to me because, like, this is the time where, like, the longer Metallica exists, the more dumb they can be because they've already done...
They've cemented themselves. They can fool around.
The thing is, though, like from what I've seen, all the bad things that have come from Metallica are because of Metallica.
Oh, absolutely. And I hope that there was a band meeting where James says, "Imagine if we had a plane crash after Lulu." I hope that there was a meeting like that, and that's why we've gotten a couple good Metallica albums afterwards.
Yeah,
because
you're
like,
right.
how could we have stopped? If what would have happened if they would have stopped on even Saint Anger? It would have been like this was the last thing that they did.
Yeah, they definitely wouldn't be considered as important to music history.
I mean, not well, and not.
I disagree.
Not now, but in 50 years, like that would absolutely be a thing. And like,
I feel like they have been allowed to do whatever they want since the Black Album. They cemented themselves in history
Justice.
with the first 5.
They chose to have the bass. They chose to do what they did to the bass. That is a choice that they made, and I'm sure people fought them on it, and the guy was like, and they were like, no. And so it's like they chose to do that.
But that wasn't. But like Justice is. Still
but they didn't choose. They didn't choose anything on Black Album. They gave over complete control on Black Album, and I think they hated that process. But then I don't know what happened on Load and Reload. How they let. I don't know. I don't know.
All I've ever wanted to know,
honestly,
honestly,
is a strange music career.
Yeah, the journey from Justice through Garage. Like, I want to know every single thing about that because I'm pretty sure everything in the 90s was completely out of control for them. Not in the sense that somebody else took over, but I just mean like it was a wild ride for whatever was going on.
I'm sure it was. I don't know. It is strange. Mm-hmm. What a strange...
But if you just would have turned out consistently good, consistently normal, you know, with like some growth and stuff. I don't like it when bands just turn out the same record.
Right? Would they have made as much impact?
Or even and I have said this throughout the entire course of this year when we do videos. The fact that Metallica lays hot turds is part of what makes Metallica. Well, and maybe even makes them entertaining. I won't say makes them good, but like makes it like you can't look away. I mean, seriously, every time a Metallica album comes out. Like, since I've been old enough to like and liked Metallica and whatever, whenever that started, it wasn't for Load or Reload. I know that. But like when you know a new Metallica record's coming out, you're like, okay, so they played the single on the radio, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything about what's going to happen because with this record, they turned out that Lords of Summer song, which I don't remember being like impactful.
I don't remember it either. I can't wait to hear it someday.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, we're back after a little break. We are ready for Am I Savage? But there's no question mark.
There isn't.
No question mark. So it's not a question.
There's probably a band meeting about that.
Am I savage? I
wouldn't be surprised if it was a digital issue. Like you can't have question marks in file names.
Oh.
That's not true. Oh, you know what? There is a question mark on the packaging.
Bum, bum, bum.
But not in the official metadata on the CD. So maybe you're right, Chris. There is something to that. Mm-hmm. Now they have had.
You should be able to have question marks in metadata.
I think you
now.
absolutely can have question marks. You can't have certain like ellipses. You can't have ellipses.
But this
you can't
isn't
have
the file
things.
name. This would be in the. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Well, right. But
Daddy 3 tag or whatever.
But they have had symbols in their music before. They have had question marks. They've had other things in there because we've specifically talked about it and mentioned it. So I think even 72 Seasons have. Well, they can't tell what songs are on there because the packaging is
We
gone.
don't have 10 minutes to
to
rip the
open the
box open again.
6 hours later. Okay, Am I Savage? In 3, 2, 1. Am I Randy Savage? Oh yeah. That was terrible. That was don't judge me on my Randy Savage.
Rises to the top.
Bonesaw is ready.
Yep.
It's from Spider-Man 1 with Tobey Maguire
I like that one.
when he fights Bonesaw. Oh yeah. Love it. Yes. This is load, Chris. This is load, reload.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like this is one of those songs I would love that everybody hates, like Ronnie. You know?
Run away, the past will bite again. Ooh, no matter where you dwell, you here again.
Yes.
A captive of the howl. You, welcome back to hell. Faithful as the full moon is rising. Beauty and the beast are colliding. Sharpened edge touch liquid flame. Deep in seed soaks anger's rain.
Is this Alice in Chainsy?
They talk about me like Alice in Chains. The commenters talk about that too. I like it. This is super Alice in Chainsy.
Scratching at the door. Am I savage? I don't recognize
Is he singing the question mark though? That's really the question.
Yes. According to the lyrics.
It's in the lyric sheet, so he is singing. Okay, good.
I feel like that would be a question you wouldn't have to ask yourself.
tooth is bang.
I don't think that's true at all.
Am I savage?
Depends on what you mean.
Oh, the question about whether he's savage or not. I thought you meant whether he was singing the question mark was a question that you shouldn't have to ask yourself.
No, I meant the literal question. Or the metaphorical question.
Welcome to late album discussions on Patrick Musilek channel.
I only have a tiny bit of my cough drop left and we're running into trouble. I have to go get another one. I might have a piece of one over there. I've discovered I don't need to like suck the whole thing. I can just suck a little bit of it for a while and then take it out of my mouth and put it back in the paper.
That makes you 90.
Yeah, Patrick is kind of 90.
Am I savage? Howling at the door. Am I savage? I don't recognize you anymore.
They need to do that part again. That like pre-chorus thing. I don't think they did it a second time. Unless I missed it. Bass is doing something here. You can hear it. I really like the guitar riffs.
Hey, there's some modern metal on a Metallica record.
Hell yeah.
Love it.
I like how the harmonics don't line up, that they're a little bit off timing, right? Just a little bit, but
Yeah. I feel like he's definitely doing what he did on 72 Seasons with the solos. Just going. I just think the guitars sound so good.
I like there's lots of those snare fills on this record.
Yeah, there is.
Right, that is the high frequency drum that he hits like this, right?
Yeah.
That's that one?
Yes.
Scratching at the door. Am I savage? I'm a nevermore. Am I savage? I don't recognize me anymore.
There's a bit of like a swing to the riff, which I really like.
Sometimes I think that the high frequency clicky stuff and the kick is a little overcooked. This is one of those times I think that.
Is it a little clicky?
I think I was probably noticing that a little too. And I wonder if it's because this song was detuned like the first song was, like Hardwired was.
Yeah.
Because we got that part in the middle where you're like, here's some modern metal stuff. That felt like Hardwired the song to me.
Oh.
So.
Well, and because really what I want, if you could have anything with recorded music, like at the end of that song, I want like bomb explosions that are 12 dB louder than everything else. And it just...
Yeah.
And then you were
Right.
supposed to sing the riff while I did the bombs things, but you didn't.
Yeah,
do it.
sorry. I stopped you.
Nobody communicated that part.
Don't rely on me for a live performance ever. Okay? I was going to have us start this video with you playing one on the acoustic guitar and me singing it, but that thought lasted only a very short
That's
amount of
good.
time.
That's good.
So
I'm glad that didn't live.
don't expect that to ever happen, by the way.
My band played a Metallica riff during a show last week.
Yeah?
We did.
Were you between songs and you started going doon doo 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 doon doo doon
No,
doo
we
doo
didn't
doo.
do that. We were playing a...
That's the kind of crap they do at like a Taylor Swift or Kelly Clarkson concert.
We kind of do that.
And then they'd
'cause we do the little game
pretend,
that we do.
right? They'd pretend that someone just started it, and then they'd play like half the song and be like, "That was such a silly, spontaneous
the best
moment."
one of those that I
we had our
saw-
monitor set up for.
I was at a fair and some stupid radio country band was playing, and in one of the songs they did the big instrumental thing where everybody in the band gets a little piece, and the guitar player, I think this is how this went, got a whole big thing. And this is like some like radio gross pop country thing, not even like Luke Bryan doing the Corn Make song or anything like that, worse than that. And the guy played a Pantera riff in the middle of his guitar thing, and I'm just like, bro, really? And I was probably the only person, I mean, right, I was working, but I was standing there and I'm like, how many people that aren't working got this? And it's probably
0, except for you.
yeah.
And it just gives
Love
you
it.
that sense of like, here you are, a real musician, and you chose to do this.
Oh, but
Oh, that's
the
how
country-
all
the
those country
guys
bands are.
That's why they all sound so good, is because they're guitar players.
And you can make bank doing that. You know, maybe not. I don't know. Maybe now the music industry is way different now.
It has to be hard because you have to be so good to be able to do that.
Yeah.
I like that song.
I liked it too. I like the like load feeling of it. I like the riff. I like the chorus. I wish they did that cool pre-chorus part that was very different and weird before the first chorus. And then unless I talked over it, I don't think that they did it again. And so that was kind of a bummer. Did you notice that, Chris Parker?
Which part?
Where they did that like ding 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 like broken chord part, the pre-chorus before the first chorus. It was the most different part of the whole song.
No, I don't think they did that again. I don't think so. I'm probably wrong.
I feel like maybe none of us listened to it.
That's all right. It's late. It's late. We need to just move on. All right.
This song's about Lemmy. We know that. Patrick will probably talk crap about it.
Lemmy?
What,
I
Murder
like
One?
Lemmy. He did the song to Triple H's theme song. The Game.
Just look.
And he also did a
know
special one
that
because
song.
him and Lemmy were actually such good buddies in real life that Lemmy was like, I want to do another song for you. So he did King of Kings for Triple H's other song. And then I think maybe Motorhead did even a third one. So, but Motorhead did for sure too.
On Lemmy's amp, it said he had letters on it that said Murder One. That was his bass rig. Was
Okay.
Murder One.
Oh, neat.
That's
okay.
interesting. That's cool.
Yeah, I don't think it came from the factory like that. I think that was an aftermarket thing.
I absolutely would not mind trying to listen to some Motorhead stuff.
Okay.
I don't know what to expect. I did once look up the album that I thought maybe I looked up the album that came out around the closest to when he recorded the song The Game, because it's such a cool sounding mix of a song. I think it's probably the best, most interesting mixed WWE entrance theme song that's from back when Jim Johnston was doing all of the songs. But I looked up that album and it didn't sound anything like that song. So I don't know. I may have just listened to samples of the wrong songs or whatever, but you know, could have been from before, or who knows what. But it would be interesting to check out some songs from across their career, because they were before Metallica, right?
Yes.
In the 70s.
Had to have started in the 70s.
Hey Google, when was Motorhead's first album released?
The initial release date of Motorhead was August 21st, 1977.
77.
I
Nice.
was gonna guess
Nice.
77.
Same year that Fleetwood Mac's big album came out.
Okay.
Not that I'm a big fan of Fleetwood Mac.
Murder
Murder
One.
One. 3, 2, Murder One. I like this. A lot of the songs have had weird stuff at the beginning for just like 2 measures.
Right. Yep. Every time.
God, this record does sound good. It's mostly, the guitars sound good. Guitars should sound good, but the drums sound really good.
It's like the palm muting sounds phenomenal. But everything about the guitars sound great, but like they've got beef when they need to.
Now, I've been noticing this thing, and it's probably just me being crazy or my headphones moving around, but I feel the kick pulling me to the right sometimes. A little tiny bit now.
I've noticed that about the snare.
The snare kind of drifts, like the image of where the snare is drifts around.
To me, it sounds almost like the artificial reverb on the snare is slightly more to the left.
To the left.
Well, for me, it's the right, but yeah. Oh, I have to apologize. During the Rob Zombie video, I thought you were messing around with the cable thing. I did not know that cable was an issue. Like, I had not used my good headphones with that cable ever. I hadn't edited a podcast yet. I had only used my old headphones, which have a way worse issue than
The
that
song
cable.
changed.
I apologize.
Thank you.
Shut up.
There was a
Shut up.
me.
No, I just meant you. I was impersonating you.
Yeah. Shut the hell up.
Yeah. Yes, there you go. That's your theme. That's your t-shirt phrase.
All sorts of tom sounds on this record.
I feel like the guitars are less wide now. That's the first time I've thought that. Jeez.
Yeah.
I like that he referenced the Undertaker there, the Man in Black.
That's
No, it couldn't have been anything else. And looking at the lyrics, knowing it's about his amp or whatever, like it totally makes still feeding back. The thunder rolls on and on.
yeah.
Like totally.
That's interesting, huh?
And it also says Ace is Wild, you know, which is
Yep.
their big song. And Iron Horse, I don't know if that's a reference to anything of theirs, but
Yeah, it is.
Hammers Through the Mist. And then obviously the Undertaker referencing their deal with the WWE. Half tempo part. Some of his solos have impressed me, and most of them are just kind of like, he's just wheedly-deedlying, right? That's all that was some wheedly-deedlying.
Sometimes they do feel like this is here because
It's
it's
expected
supposed
to be
to
there.
be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least there they did something a little interesting with the riff. Kick sounds too loud on this again.
I think it's just a high frequency though. Like it sounds like the click is processed differently. There's a huge haystack of EQ there or something, and it just. It's very rare for me to say that there's too much kick on a metal record, but I would agree that sometimes it just feels a little overcooked on this one.
So second half of the album, Am I Savage, Murder One, not standing out to me. You know, I thought Confusion, ManUNkind, and Here Comes Revenge, really great. Am I Savage? Am I Mediocre?
But still,
Murder One, more like Murder 4 or 5.
But like.
Murder 5.5 maybe at the highest.
But like, why? I think that it was an interesting choice to front load. Like, I mean, somebody knew that they were going to be singles. Hardwired, Atlas, Moth in the Flame.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
However,
however, what?
Spit Out the Bone.
Well, I know, but was this a single though?
I feel like
this isn't the one they played on the Grammys.
it's one of the ones that I've seen other people react to the most, and I think because it also has a music video. Not all of them have music videos.
Oh, that's interesting.
I think I've seen the video. Isn't it like
The video
some
for
like
Spit Out the Bone
graveyard
is-
creepy scene?
It's wild. It is a fever dream at 10,000 miles an hour. It is a wild video.
You want to know how many Metallica music videos I've seen?
0?
Just the one.
One. And you want to know what it was?
1.
One.
I watched part of some video from Load Reload era where like Kirk is running from an airplane flying very
And
low.
I Disappear when he's
I
playing
Disappear.
on the skyscraper. I mean, that's
Which rules?
100%.
That video rules. That song rules.
100%.
Okay, one more.
Spit Out the Bone, This is what everybody's skipping to this song because they think it's so great.
I'm supposed to gush about this, so I'm preparing my gush. That was...
It's very good.
It better not be instrumental, or I'm going to get very frustrated. All right, ready?
We would all be like really set, like
the whole time you've been trolling me?
That'd be really funny.
all
one
of us.
person commented in one video way at the beginning, spit out the bone, and you're all like,
We've been trolling you for a year.
Let's go. Let's go. That's everyone picked that song.
The internet came together to troll Patrick for this one thing.
All right, spit out the bone in 3, 2, 1. Okay, I figured this had to be the case because we haven't had anything that crazy.
The mix is much different on this.
Yes, it's lower in volume a lot. The guitars are. What will the vocals be? I mean, this is just old school Metallica,
Yep.
but with a kick drum. I guess they usually have the kick in there.
The drums are just a little thinner, too. This riff rips. It's so good.
Disappointed it's not double bass. Right? That would have been so much cooler there. Harmony vocal. Oh. This is pretty damn awesome. This is what we've been asking for the whole time.
Yeah.
Good production with a thrash Metallica song. When they play this live, do they slow it way down?
Probably not. Swap it way up.
Is it fast for 7 minutes? Because if it is, boo-hoo, that's pretty awesome. We'll see. Oh, that's epic. Yeah. That was the first time I've heard him do a metal vocal in like since Kill 'Em All.
What a weird guitar tone that is in the middle.
The bass?
Bass.
I'm trying to get destroyed in the comments here, folks.
At least as long as it's not a saxophone. Okay, so not a solo, guitar part.
Which is better.
It is better.
Feels kind of thin compared to the rest of the song, but this is, yes, this is what they would have done on Ride or Master. They did a lot of parts. Yeah.
Here's another one.
The flash betrays the flash. Your man is headed time. We lay him down to rest. Machine the new divine.
Good luck, Kurt.
Godspeed. Love this part. Ooh, yeah.
Harmony parts. That makes all the sense in the world. Don't try to deedly that fast. Do something melodic. Thank you. Double bass! Do it more! Copy and paste it.
We're on song like 6 inside this song.
Lars needed a spot to play a rock beat to take a break.
I like the way the drums are sounding here. We don't get a lot of this. Spider-Man. The dynamics of a real snare drum. Can he do it? Not gonna try.
Can do something more interesting.
Yep. Ooh, that's a cool descending part.
Super cool. Well, that's sort of nice.
He did it.
That was pretty sweet.
He did it. That was actually James, but he did it. Aw, are they not going to do the... They didn't really do the chorus with the... They just did the last couple words. Woo! That was a ride and a half.
That song is so good.
That's the way to end the album. So exactly what I said. Start the album with the fastest song, end the album with the fastest song. You know, like, and then every... You know what I mean, though? Like, start with the thrash song, end with the thrash song. That's what they did with Ride, and that's what they did with Master. And I don't know about Justice. I don't remember that album at all.
It ends with Dyer's Eve, which is the
instrumental, right?
speed demon of a song. No. The second to last song is the
And what's the first song on
Blackened.
Justice?
So they're both blazing.
Yeah.
They did it.
Okay.
Definitely did it on Justice.
There you go. There you go.
I will say.
In fact, I got yelled at in the premiere, I think maybe of Lulu or something, where we were talking about this, and I said that To Live Is To Die was the last song on Justice, and somebody was like, "Nuh-uh, it's Dyer's Eve," and I was like, I love that song. I'm so pissed that I got it wrong and forgot all about it.
How dare you not remember every single detail?
Now I remember. Mm-hmm. I've only had 30 years to get it right, you know?
I loved it. That's what we've been asking for this whole time. Now imagine if there was a whole album of that.
Metallica just hasn't done that.
I know.
Ever.
Metallica's not that band. Metallica is not.
They weren't in 1984.
They're not a thrash band.
And they weren't.
People need to shut up and quit pretending that they are. And actually, I don't even think that they're a metal band overall. So.
What?
That's, well.
Of all of the people, of everything that's happened, we get to the end of this Metallica journey, and you are the one that says, it's not metal.
It's not metal.
Well, Patrick's favorite records are the rock ones, so.
Well, you know, I've been actually thinking about that a lot. One of the conversations I want us to have if in the future, which I think will be a fun conversation, is where is the line between rock and metal? What does that mean for you? What does that mean for you?
I knew that this was going to come up, and I have been putting a lot of brain cycles into this.
Me too. I've been,
and I don't know anymore.
That's right. We don't need to talk about it now.
We
you
don't.
Just
I think
think about it. Think about
what
it.
we need to do, to go back to your consideration of just reviving the music room in a different form.
Mm-hmm.
We each bring 4 songs where we're like, this
Too many.
this
Yeah.
is metal. And then we
Yeah.
just fight about it.
You know, so, boy, I had that discussion in my head, right? I've been driving a lot lately. Last week, I drove 2 hours every day last week. And so I've actually been good about listening to music while I do that. And I don't know. I think that I could probably take anything. I could probably go, if I wanted to be the antagonist that I often am, I think I could go take Archspire and tell you that it's a rock record. And like,
I really think that you are. At this point, I can't tell if you're joking or not.
I can't
I
tell
have
if I'm joking or not.
I have never in my life thought that you were joking until we started doing this. I thought that you were literally really just like, because in one of the videos you're like, In Flames is not metal. And I'm like, what?
I'll listen to some In Flames on
no
my
way.
What record should I listen to?
Their new one.
The new one? Okay,
Yeah.
I'll listen to it.
Now,
Who, In
do they
Flames?
have songs that aren't metal? Yes. Do they have parts within their metal songs that aren't metal? Sure.
See,
but
that-
does that make it not
Yes.
a metal song?
Yes.
Totally incorrect.
Absolutely it does.
No. Once
How
you
much of a song needs to be metal?
The whole thing. And I will say that clean electric guitars and acoustic guitars, like Battery, is a metal song.
Right.
Whatever the other thing, clean singing is not even a thing. Where is the line on clean singing? Because there is a line, and I know where that line is for me. And I can tell you one thing that is rock, and I can tell you one thing that is metal. And I know that would be a huge topic of debate.
we should not do this.
We should
now.
not, because it'll take us.
I think that would be
It would be a century.
I think that would be a really fun conversation for us to have later. Oh, did you see? I saved the video or something, but we can search for it. We talked earlier in our Metallica videos about that guy who makes the YouTube videos where he just draws on the paper on the, I forget the guy's name.
12 tone.
12 tone, yes. Did you see he released a video about what makes music heavy? It was literally the exact thing we talk about all the time. And I was like, we need to react to this. The three of
think-
us need to react to this.
His channel is so good. If you want to watch an actual good channel, go watch 12
he's
Tone.
phenomenal.
He's so good.
I'll keep that in mind.
Have you seen his stuff before?
Never.
I was talking to the audience, but oh man, his stuff is really, really good.
We talked about it in earlier Metallica videos, but Chris, don't watch that one.
Okay.
If you want to watch any, actually don't watch any of his videos until we do the reaction for that one.
just watched the
Done.
one where he does like Toxic or something, where he
breaks down a specific song.
They're really
Those
interesting.
are great, but it's really great. But so anyway, we've got things we can talk about in the future. Okay, so Hardwired to Self-Destruct. Overall, very positive impression.
Yes.
It's left on me. Like I said halfway through, this is an album that I would put in and listen to. The biggest deterrent for me would be the fact that I would probably never in a billion years listen to the second disc. Just because my brain would be like, open the case, reach for the furthest left disc, put it in, never make it all the way through to the end of the first disc because I ain't driving anywhere 45 minutes away probably. And then that's it.
And other than Spit Out the Bone, which I will say, the first time I listened to that song, somebody had been built up to me, like either by people I knew or articles online. Oh my God, Spit Out the Bone! It's all, and then like, I like the song a lot. I'm not saying that I don't like the song a lot, and I like how there's a really big, obvious riff. But then like Hardwired is like basically as intense.
Sure.
I don't think it's as fast though.
It's not that much different.
Maybe.
And like, and I'm not saying that I'm disappointed. I do like the song,
Right.
but like, other than that, like the second disc, like, because I mean, right? I didn't buy this record. I didn't listen to it on heavy rotation. But like, Hardwired, Atlas, Moth into the Flame. Like, I find myself singing Moth into the Flame. Like, it's not Into the Flame. I know it's Into Flame. Moth into Flame.
Mothfire.
Mothfire, the Mothfire song, like that. And I remember when I saw them on that tour, and that thing was a thing. I had terrible seats, worst in the house. But
I mean, yeah, to me, Atlas Rise is not my favorite. So I liked Hardwired, Now That We're Dead, Moth into Flame, Dream No More. Maybe wasn't my favorite, but I don't remember anything bad about it. And then Halo on Fire I really liked. Then we have Confusion, ManUnkind, and Here Comes Revenge. Liked all of those. Then Am I Savage and Murder One, not my favorite. If they would have cut those 2 songs and just had Spit Out the Bone after Here Comes Revenge, put it all on one disc, possibly best Metallica album. Maybe not best, but like...
I still think it's super top tier. And like, I like
it sounds so good at certain points.
It sounds so good.
Most of the time. If not all the time. It's really solid.
I do think some of the vocals are too low and it's a little disappointing. Fair. And I think the kick is too loud and really obviously too loud in certain points. Some of the songs are more egregious on that than others. But as listening to it like this on good headphones with good frequency range, it was more than acceptable, and it actually sounded like enjoyable to have a giant, massive kick there a lot of the time. If I was listening to this in my car, it might be a little too much, right? It would make my speakers shake probably because I got like rattly speakers sometimes. And listening to it on earbuds would probably be terrible because all you'd hear is the click, 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 click. You wouldn't get any of the thump. Like that. Right, you wouldn't get any of the thump, which is the enjoyable part of what you're hearing. So drums overall, I think, were enjoyable throughout the album. In terms of everything else, I think the snare was really good throughout the album. Even there were parts where it was a little low. They were had a little bit more low pass on it. Still liked it. Liked the hi-hat the whole time. I thought it flowed really nicely and didn't sound jarring. Hi-hat can sometimes do that, like open hi-hat on a metal record can sometimes break an album for me. I liked they did things in almost
2 seasons.
I was just gonna say, are you being intentionally evasive here?
No, I'm not. But I think they did things. Almost every song had like a unique thing to it, like an element that was slightly different, started weird, had a different kind of a riff. You know, I think. The only 2 songs that I didn't really notice anything like that in is Am I Savage and Murder One. That's why I thought those 2 were kind of mid songs. However, we always kind of disregard the songs at the end because we're just so tired. And, you know, we're just
tough
dead.
to do these as full albums for sure.
And we weren't going to do it like this, but I wanted to keep the studio albums. I wanted to keep them all uniform, so I want to try to make this one video. So we're only at an hour and a half. If I can cut out a 20 to 30 minute chunk of stuff at the beginning where I'm talking about something unimportant or we're doing whatever, I can maybe make this all one video. So overall, I like this album. I'm excited to hear the 4 songs they recorded during these sessions that didn't make it onto the album. A lot of people really liked Land of Summer or whatever that song was called.
Lords of Summer. But that did, I mean...
Lords of Summer.
It is weird that that's not on the record because it was a real song that really came out. It was...
Well, maybe it was accompanying a movie soundtrack or something.
I don't think so. I think it was just a single. Single. The N comes before the G.
Hey, Google, was Lords of Summer released as a single? We'll see what she says.
According to Wikipedia, it was first released as a digital single in its demo form on March 19, 2014, with a 12-inch single for it being released as part of Record Store Day Black Friday later that
Record Store Day.
So, Chris, if you couldn't hear her, she said that it was originally released in demo format 2 years before this came out, and then they released it as a single for Record Store Day on like a 45 record or whatever, as a single.
I remember it was the first song from this that they played live when they started doing.
So I wonder if because it was recorded so much earlier, I bet it doesn't sound like this album though. If it was the original demo was recorded a year before they started recording this album, I wonder if they never re-recorded it. And they just kind of fleshed out the demo or whatever. So maybe it doesn't sound sonically like it belongs on the album, and that's why. And then the other 2 songs, there's 2 covers, which I think are Ronnie Rising Medley. I'm assuming Ronnie is someone. Ronnie James Dio, maybe. Because I think that there was a Dio credit in the booklet. And then When a Blind Man Cries, I believe, is the other cover. Ooh, Ronnie Rising Medley is 9 minutes long. So that's probably a Dio medley of Dio's.
Yeah, it says featuring A Light in the Black, Terror Woman, Stargazer, Kill the King. So it's probably all those.
Yeah, it said in the booklet, it says because Dio, it wasn't just Dio, it was Blackmore. Richie Blackmore, who I think was in Rainbow, and which I just learned this earlier this year. It says, all songs written by Hetfield Ulrich except ManUnkind and Lords of Summer written by Hetfield Ulrich, the bass player. And then Trujillo. And then Ronnie Rising Medley written by Blackmore, Dio, Powell. And so, yeah, so that would be the band Rainbow, Blackmore's Night possibly. Dio could be Dio's band, I would assume. And then maybe they have different songs from each of those different people's careers. I don't know. Unless Blackmore was in Dio's. What was the band Dio was in? Rainbow.
And Dio.
Well, I know he was in Dio.
I don't know anything about Rainbow.
He was in Black Sabbath?
Yeah.
Ronnie James Dio was in Black Sabbath? I don't believe you.
For like one record. Yeah.
Really?
Heaven and Hell. Yeah.
Okay.
It's really weird. Some of that was on the other day at something that I was at, and like, I asked my brother, I'm like, who is this? And he's like, it's Ronnie James Dio singing, you dingus. And then I'm like, okay, yeah. And then I'm like, but this is weird because I haven't listened to that record very much.
I don't know very much Black Sabbath, but right now in WWE, they're pushing the 2Cage thing, which is called War Games. And the theme song for it is the Ozzy song, I don't know if it's Ozzy or Black Sabbath, but it's the one where he's like, let me think of the lyrics. Something gather in their masses, just like witches at black masses. Whatever that one is. Is that War Pigs?
Yes.
That's the one that Faith No More covered. I know that version of the song.
I forgot they did that.
Cake also covered it, and it was great.
Short skirt, long jacket.
Three albums that Dio was on.
Reluctantly.
What did he do? Guitar?
Did Dio play guitar in Black Sabbath?
I don't know what's happening.
Yes, Dio sang in Black Sabbath.
I thought Ozzy was Black Sabbath's singer, but he left.
And then a while ago, this all came up, probably when Ronnie died, that they kind of like started referring to it as Heaven and Hell because Black Sabbath and Ozzy are such a thing. But yeah, Ozzy, I forget what the story was, but either quit or got kicked out, and Ronnie James Dio replaced him in the band Black Sabbath for I guess 3 albums.
I don't know anything about Black Sabbath either, so that's cool.
That's interesting. When I think of Ronnie James Dio, I probably think of something completely wrong and not, but I think of him as being like a type thing. Whereas when I think of Ozzy, I don't think of him as necessarily being that way, but I don't know. Ozzy, I don't know if I like Ozzy's
James
vocals.
Dio is like, I mean, I like both of them, but like Dio is a good singer and Ozzy is Ozzy.
I just feel like everything I've ever heard.
That's the most appropriate thing.
Well, there's a lot of bad singers that I really like, and Ozzy is one of them.
I feel like everything I've heard Ozzy ever sing, he's doubled his vocals. Every single thing I've ever heard.
In the later years.
And I'm like, I just don't jive with that as much.
Shall we wrap this up?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I need to listen to this album more to put it in my. Right away, I will say this is probably top 4 Metallica albums for me. I would definitely say. Now
I would have thought it was number 1 for sure. That seems quite the allowance.
Load is just. It just.
Oh no! That's right. You're gonna say all the wrong ones.
I just cannot hold on to the thought, for some reason, that you would have Load at number 1. Even though that makes the most sense. Load is excellent, and there's no reason for me to keep forgetting that.
Likes the most.
No, I know.
The only thing that would make more sense if you just do the Patrick math. The only thing that would make more sense is if that Lulu was his
math trick.
If Patrick liked Lulu the most. That would be the only.
There's no way.
I know there's no way, but like according to like the way that Patrick likes stuff,
he wouldn't even know how to use YouTube if that was true. Like,
yeah, there's have to be something seriously wrong. I think we'll have to see though, because like this album might be more consistent than Load, and that might bump it above that. I don't know, but like to me, the best songs on Load are like some of the best rock songs I've ever heard. From any band, like phenomenal. And there's some really good, like some of my favorite riffs of all time are on Load and Reload. Like the beginnings of some of those songs are just, I'm just like, I've never heard anyone play a riff like this. It's so cool. It's like if ZZ Top were approaching being a metal band is what some of it's like. And I absolutely adore that. Plus, I said it in the videos, James' voice was made for singing over that, not this. James does not sing metal vocals. And he hasn't since Kill 'Em All, when he sang punk vocals over thrash music. That was the closest we got to metal vocals James Hetfield. Everything else he's been struggling with.
Isn't that interesting? Because that's so, like, I'm on board to agree with that. And it's so interesting how that's just not the path he took.
Yeah.
You know, there's no predetermination for being a metal vocalist.
Well, screaming.
Well, I know, but I just mean, like...
No predetermination. You're right.
Right. And
like, he would have had to make the conscious effort.
He would have had to really try to do something that must not have been very comfortable because he did not do it for long.
And, like, the funny thing about it... Sorry. Keep going.
And it's just... But I think that's one of the things that makes Metallica unique, is that he's not a metal vocalist, and he made metal. He invented metal.
Well, right. I think partly. I think so many of the bands that I listen to that Chris would be like, this is not even close to approaching metal, right? Like, the vocalist has the ability to, and often does during certain parts of songs, be metal vocalist, right? Screaming, grunting, growling, whatever. Whereas James, there's one time on this album at the end of a phrase where he approached something that I felt was like a metal vocal. Mm-hmm. Every other thing he sang was, it wasn't metal, you know? So I don't know. I mean, it's just, I don't know. And this can go into our metal conversation. What is metal? Like, but
I don't think that James Hetfield vocals make Metallica any less metal at any time. Like, Metallica
I disagree
does
so
other
hard.
things to do that.
I think the vocals are one of the most important parts of any band. And just the mere fact that if you have bad vocals, it can completely ruin a band and an album for me. Like, doesn't matter. If it's got to have good vocals. And so the fact that I enjoy all these Metallica albums means that I think he's doing a good job with what he's doing. But at no point during any of these albums, with the exception of Kill 'Em All, have I felt that he has done a metal vocal performance.
Yeah, but that just wasn't the thing to do. And, like, I mean, that sort of stuff didn't.
So what are they doing then? If
exist.
maybe they're not doing metal then?
I mean, you're gonna have
metal's
to
in the
listen,
name.
You're gonna have to listen to some Slayer, because, like,
I'm excited to do that. I sent you that long list of my whatever, you know, when I was just...
There's some weird crap that you were listening to.
Yeah,
that
well,
was
I just
weird
told...
for anybody.
I just told Google to play thrash metal, and that was what came up. And some of it I was like, this is badass. And other stuff I was like, this is horrible. And so, like, I love doing that. If we could just do that and have Google play random thrash songs and we just talk about it or whatever, like, that would be so awesome, which we could absolutely do that. Just go to the thrash metal playlist on Spotify, hit shuffle and play. And
there's a lot of stuff that we can fill 5 hours with.
And we could talk, well, yeah, but we could talk about, you know, whatever, but, like, that's every other thing I'm hearing, there's dudes screaming. Mm-hmm. Whether they're going, ah! Which I don't want to necessarily hear. I'd rather hear someone going, right? Which doesn't seem to be a thrash metal thing.
It's not a thrash metal.
Not a thrash metal thing. For whatever reason. I don't know why. It's just not thrash metal if someone's doing that, I guess. But whatever. I also want to hear a thrash band with keyboards in it, and no one has found me one yet and sent me one, but I've asked about that for several videos. Okay, so Hardwired is great. We'll thank you, everybody, for joining us. We have had a great time this year with you. I hope that you've enjoyed this whole journey that is now completed. We've listened to every Metallica album.
Studio album.
And we'll come back in January listening to Garage and Symphony and Metallica, and then from there on, it'll be kind of a free-for-all of what we do. But I want us to shift focus away from when Chris comes over to record, we don't just record Metallica things. We record other bands. And so thank you very much for watching this whole time. It's meant a lot to me and my channel. If we do have that conversation about just like the year overall as like a Christmas thing or whatever, I'll talk a lot more about the year overall, how all this stuff has impacted my life and the channel and everything in that video. But for now, we've got to end this because it's just too much and I can't even talk anymore. So thank you very much for being with us all year long. And we will hope... Oh, the candle's still going, by the way.
Amazing.
Yeah, and it doesn't seem like there's any reason it should.
Let's see Passover compete with that.
And there's also a stick. There's a stick in there, like someone lit a match or something and threw it in there at some point. So, hey, whatever.
It really has been fun.
Are we burning the table? No, we're good. Thank you, everybody, very much. And we will see you at some point in the future.
Probably in the chat. Like
Eventually,
over one of these directions, wherever the chat is.
We'll try to do premieres. If this video gets split into two, I don't know what we're going to do. I'll try to make it one so we can do a premiere. Thank you very much, and we will see you next year, except for me and Chris Parker, all of our videos about the top 12 albums of the year. And if Chris wants to do anything with us on those, that's fine, but you're not going to be in the main one because we've got a thing established over the last 9 years. So, all right. See you later. Until next year, thank you for being with us. One sucks.